Anyway.
This meeting is now being live streamed.
Live
Oh,
streamed
I didn't show off. I didn't show off
Got
the Bigfoot hat. Yeah. There you go.
Ugh.
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 You can get your own official.
Why would
You
I
can-
want to do that?
You can get your own official Bigfoot hat at angryminnow.com. I am not a paid sponsor, but
I know. Are you
angryminnow
getting
dot-
affiliate fees on this?
If
You should get something.
angryminnow.com wants to throw some free hat swag my way,
Yeah, we need some merch.
yeah, they have like they have 6 or 7 of the cryptozoological things. I have the Yeti.
Society.
I have the Yeti. I have the Bigfoot. My son has the Mothman. I still need to, and then my daughter has El Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
And then I still need to get the Bat Squatch. And
Bat Squatch? Jesus, they're really stretching for it.
no. Well, okay, so I'll actually tell you. So after the eruption of Mount St. Helens, there was
Why do I open my mouth?
there was a rash of sightings of Sasquatch-like creatures, but with large bat-like wings flying in the area. And they theorized that like there was underground cave networks that got disrupted from the eruption, and then they actually flew out and were disoriented, but they went back down below. And ever since Mount St. Helens erupted, they get a few sightings all the time. So yeah, just like maybe a relative of the Mothman. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
You
You never know.
Could be DNA related.
They could be kissing cousins.
But I got the Yeti one though. I really like the Yeti hat. I really like.
They
that
do a
one.
lot of weathering on those hats.
Well, okay, so I actually did some research into this. It's like there's the company that just makes them, and they're like this, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
they're not. There's
The
somebody
BGG
that's
ones.
scraping it on the.
Did I give you a BGG hat?
No, I got to get one of them.
Well, you didn't come to spring. We had them at
I'll
spring.
get one. I'll get one in. Well, if you still have any left, I'll get one in.
You're going so fast, Lance. I don't know. Everything's selling on like hotcakes. We got our shipment in container.
Finally.
I watched everybody unpack it from the safety of my house. I felt bad. I felt bad. I would if I had look. I would have been if I. So here's what happened
No excuses.
on Monday. Was it Monday?
I don't know.
Monday. Nobody's at the building. Like they don't work on Monday.
Okay.
Steven was there. He was just like chilling. He was doing some.
And a truck showed up.
He was doing some BGD. Yeah, a truck shows up. Where can I put the container? Okay, well, we have a dock station now because we have a building. Oh God.
Berkey's
Are you drooling? I can see your mouth is like getting ready.
So no, Berkey is I'm gonna deliver a jar, or I'll make a jar for BGG Con. He's gonna
You should bring a jar.
So
Anyway, so the container, the truck shows up with the container on the back, and they don't leave. They don't unload it. They just drop it off, wait up for us to unload it, and take it. It's gone. Like so, the guy sat in the truck for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then we're like frantically calling all employees come in to help unload this thing because it's not pallets, it's top loaded or bottom loaded.
Okay.
Floor loaded, floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like literally floor to ceiling boxes. And we just had our new cameras installed, so I got to watch them all in high def. I was like, go team. I'm like, buy them drinks, buy them lunch, buy them dinner, get everybody paid, fed.
To be fair, freight has been really, really weird because
freight. Well, because we almost missed the train strike. They were delaying us on purpose because of the train strike. I'm like, why not just get it going? Like, if the train strike happens,
but no, I mean,
shit would at least be on the way or something, like.
Well, how would that?
Like, we have some stuff in Michigan right now that, like, all of a sudden they were just like, oh, by the way, that we're sending that right now. It was just like, and it was like, oh, really? Oh, when? Oh, no, it'll be there today. Oh, well, thank you, because we don't have anybody there because they're at Essen. So I don't know what we're supposed to do there.
Anyway, so that was 2 containers this week, or one Friday and one Monday, back to back.
What kind of goodies we got in there, Scotty?
Oh, a full restock of all the stuff, all the good stuff.
Oh, the good stuff.
The bits.
The bits.
The
mostly.
bitch. I do like the.
We got the
bitch.
new oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank now. I don't think Quacks is in this container, unfortunately. That would be a good thing, but it's not.
It still sells as strong, Scott. Quacks.
It's unreal.
Really?
Yeah, it's unreal. I mean, thank God we had the.
Oh,
the
they just came
bits.
out with a
I
big
mean,
box too, didn't they? Recently.
I don't know if it's domestic yet, but maybe.
Uh,
Yeah, there's a big box.
Well, you got to think that the Orleans bits will sell more now. So
Yeah, we got the. I
everything.
think. Let me bring up what we got. I know we got the.
The wingspan bits got to sell good.
They do. They do. We sold out at Gen Con. All that stuff sold. Got my check today.
you got your check.
We actually made some money at Gen Con. No, we didn't. We didn't make any money because you spend so much to go. Well, let me find it. BGG boardgamegeek.com store.
Ooh.
Quacks. Oh, we got Quackspace. Quackspace, Orleans Base, Orleans Bits, Seasons, Robinson Crusoe, Teotihuacan, Roll for the Galaxy, Dice Throne Season 1, Calico, Buttons, Factory Funner, Food Chain Magnate, an updated accordion and milestone for the expansion. Among the Stars, Dice City, Fields of Green, and Eclipse. That's all there.
Did you say seasons?
Yes, Seasons.
The dice game?
The original,
Really?
that? Still have- yeah.
I didn't even think that
We
was
sold
in print.
out a while ago.
Well, I mean, and the thing is that I busted out Seasons and played it again for like the first time in a long time, and I'd forgotten how much it was God, I can't even think of the word.
Drafting? Or no, I'm trying to.
It's drafting, but it is.
But you have to.
It is
yeah.
hugely engine building.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Right. And then you're still rolling though. Dice rolling.
Yeah.
Engine build. Yeah, I want to get the geek up. I want to get Blitzkrieg. I like Blitzkrieg. Because that game is fun, but it would be way more fun if the bag was big enough for your hand and the bits were good.
Yeah.
Oh, the Targi bits are nice. Thank you.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Have you played that Blitzkrieg game?
No, I don't even know.
It's good. World War II
Sure.
in 15 minutes, I think it's called. I mean, it's, you're drawing chits and then you have chits behind your screen and you're going to play one chit a turn. And you have these theaters of operation. It's an abstracted World War II. Like you have.
Well, the only
you
World War II
Pacific-
game is if like actual people die. Like so the costs.
No
are
people. It's all it's abstracted. But it's a pretty good game. I think I liked it.
Yeah.
And you draw it out of your bag and then you have like a like a hand of 4, and then you play one and it's secret. You play one, you do what it does. You play into the different scenarios theaters of operation. So you have East Front, West Front, Pacific, stuff like that, Africa, and then you can play land troops on land tiles and air troops on air or land. It's pretty cool. It's really good. If you have not played it, it's a good 15-minute game. Like really well done.
I believe you.
Palo More. Yeah, Palo.
So I have. It's not really a grievance, but it is a chain of events that
A set of circumstances.
a chain of events that put me into a moment where I thought I was going to have to. I mean, it was just one of those things like really? And then it was like, really? Just like that kind of thing. So
Do tell.
Yes.
He
So
will.
the other
Don't worry, he
evening,
will.
so the other evening I was like, it was Sunday night. And I was kind of half watching the Sunday night football game, but not really. And I was hungry, and like it was just like nothing in the house. looked good to me. And
Did
I
you go to
couldn't figure out-
McDonald's?
If you went
No,
to
I did
McDonald's,
not.
had
I did
somebody
not go to
reach out and
McDonald's.
beat
I'll
someone.
start this off by saying I did not go to McDonald's.
Darn.
So
I do have a story about McDonald's though when he's done.
yeah, no. So for whatever reason, I was just like, I wanted a piece of fried chicken, and I was just like, and then I was like, wait a minute, we just got one of those mailers, and I looked and there was like this coupon for like a meal at KFC. It was like a chicken breast, a wing, and a leg, and a side of mashed potatoes and gravy, and it was like $8.99. I was like, well, that's a good deal. That's not a bad deal. So I was like, and there's a KFC. They don't call it Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore. They call it KFC.
Yes.
Right.
But there's a
I've been called
KFC.
Kentucky in a while.
There's a KFC like
Yeah, a few
you know,
years.
a 10-minute drive from my house or whatever. And I was like, wait a minute, it's Sunday night. I bet you they're closed because it was like 7:15, 7:30. And then I look at no, they're open till 9. Well,
Score.
shoot. I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm gonna go grab something to eat. You want anything? No, nobody wanted anything else. I was like, cool, this is just a drive for me. So I, listen to the football game on the radio, and I'm just heading there. And I get there, and it's like ridiculously busy. It was like everybody decided they were hungry at that moment. And so I walk in.
Nobody was
and-
watching Tom Brady.
I don't know. And I walk in and like I walk up to the counter and I got my coupon. And luckily like I walk in and then like people, it was going quick, and I got up there and I was like, yeah, hey, I'd like to use this deal. And the guy in front of me had said, he's like, yeah, I want to get the chicken strip bucket or something like that. And the guy said, we're out of chicken.
I want a
strips.
bucket of chicken strips.
Yeah, I know it was.
Give me
like-
a bucket.
Yeah.
It's like, and he said we're out of chicken strips, and he's like, shoot, and then he's like, hold on, I'll call, and I was like, is it okay? And yeah, go ahead. So I didn't want to go ahead of him, And like, I was like, hey, I got this deal, and the guy's like looking at the coupon, and like none of the people I dealt with were rude in any way. He's looking at the coupon, he's like, hey, and he showed it to this guy. I'm like, well, is it like expired? But I just got it, and I looked at it later, and it wasn't expired. It was like November. And the guy said, turns and looking, he goes, all we have is drumsticks left. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, so what can I get for that deal? And he's like, well, I'll give you 3 drumsticks. I was like, well, I'm not going to buy 3 drumsticks for $9. So I was just like,
No, that's probably not worth
Yeah.
it.
and I was just like, yeah, what? Never mind. I'll come back some other time. And I was like, now I was walking up to my car, my pickup, and I was like, man, I really wanted that deal. And I was like, wait a minute. There's another KFC that's like, I can get on the interstate. You don't know where I'm going, but I can get on the interstate about 5 minutes. I can drive on the interstate for another 5 minutes. I can get off the interstate. It's right there. So I can go there. And I was like, and they're open till 9 too. So I get in and I drive and I get off the interstate and I drive to where I worked at this pizza place. It was right next to that KFC. And I mean, I saw it like every day for like 3 years. So I worked at this pizza place. And I drive over there and like, what the heck? The building's gone. Like it was like, and then I find out
Moshed.
later, like COVID killed it. Like it was just like, they were like, COVID killed it. And then they bulldozed it and they built a liquor store. They like, there's a big liquor store in the spot. I looked it up when I got home and I was like, well, I was like, dang it. And I was like, well, I was just kind of annoyed. And then I sat there and I thought about it for a while. And I was like, wait a minute, there's still one left. It's kind of a drive though, but it's, whatever. It's right. I'll have to get on the interstate and drive, another 10 minutes or so out of my way. And at this point I was like, it's a quest, right? So I was just like, I'm going to do this.
Quest for chicken,
Yeah. It's just like, I had to get this. Right?
but not drums. Cause I would have taken the drummies. I mean, honestly, that
Yeah,
satisfies.
I
mean-
wasn't in the mood. I just didn't like, oh no, it wasn't even that it was drummies. He said, all I got is drummies and an extra crispy. And I don't like the extra crispy at KFC. I like the original recipe. So I was just like, I drew a line in the sand there. But anyway.
Wait,
so
what? Wait. Oh, only extra crispy, no original recipe. That's all they had.
Yeah.
I would have
so-
taken anything, honestly.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
not
sure.
picky.
So I get out and I drive up and
I don't want
pull
to
up,
drive.
And now this place
I hear
is
you.
completely full. I'm like, who is going? I mean, like everybody's got the same idea I have, but then I thought about it.
Well,
I
there's
bet
only
you
two of them in
everybody
the
got
city.
those. Everybody got those coupons in the mail, like the same deal, because I had gotten in the mail this a day or two earlier, right? So I get out and I walk in, and there's a line, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, oh, whatever. And I look, and you can see in like the roasters, whatever, you can see the chicken they have, and they got plenty. I'm like, no worries, whatever. I'll wait. I'll just get my thing. I'll get out of here. And this guy, and I can see like after standing there for like 5 minutes, and the line's just not moving. And I'm like, what's going on here? And then the guy kind of says, and he stops, and then he's talking to this guy behind him, and this guy's talking behind him, like, and the guy in front of him who's like, he's just like going like this, and there's like conversations going back and forth. And finally, like somebody said, just so you know, our credit card machines are down. We're only taking cash. Now, I had like
$9.99.
no, I had like $20 in cash on me earlier that
$20
day.
is $20.
Yeah, $20 is $20, right? I just had a $20 bill. I like, and it was just one of those things. But as fate would have it, because of a random set of circumstances, the ice cream truck drove by our house earlier that day. We heard the noise, and my wife and the kids all ran out, and they're like, "You have cash?" I was like, "Yeah, I got a $20 bill. Go ahead and use it." And like, they bought like 4 ice creams, which at
$25.
I was like at $3.50 a piece. So I was down to like $6 in cash in my wallet. And I was like, God bless. And I was just like, well, I guess, but then I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to go out. I'm going to sit on the parking lot. I am just going to order it on because it says you can order online. So I pull it up. I didn't use the app because I didn't want to download the app because my phone's old and I wouldn't have taken it anyway. But I just went to the website. I'm like, put in my order, hit the button, and it just sits there and whirs and whirs and whirs and whirs.
They know this
The
game.
credit card machines are down.
Yeah, because and then I realized, it's like I'm not actually circumventing anything. It's still using the same processing thing that they're using, so it's just not working. And I was just like, But then I was like, okay, I was just, dang it. And then I was like, my bank is like a 3-minute drive that way. Now, mind you, I left the house nearly an hour at this point, but I was just like, there's no way I'm letting this beat me. My bank and an ATM is like a 3-4 minute drive from here. I'll just go there. I'll get some cash and I'll come back.
Really?
Yeah, because I wasn't gonna get beaten. So I drive to the thing, pull up into the drive-through thing. I put my debit card in. What would you like to do? I'd like to withdraw. Here's my PIN or whatever, and I do the whole thing, and it says, how much do you want? And I was like, I'll get $40. $40. And then it was just grayed. It was grayed out. And I was like, what? Okay, $20. It's grayed out. I was like, but $10 still grayed out. I'm like, what the heck? So I cancel it, take my card out, put my card back in. And I said, okay, I'll hit the fast cash button. I never hit that fast cash because I always think it's a scam, right? I hit the fast cash button and a thing blinks up and says, we're sorry, this ATM is out of currency or something like that. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It's like, but it's a Sunday night, like it hasn't been filled all weekend.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, well, screw it. I was just defeated. I'm defeated. And I'm about ready to turn around. And then I realized I have, and I've spoken about this. I have a bank
secret
account.
20.
No, I have a bank account with a bank that has our mortgage on there. And because I have a checking account, they lower the interest rate on your by 0.25%, which is a lot of money, for a house. When you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, that's a lot of money. And so I have a checking account, which basically the mortgage payment comes out of it, and that's it. It's just like that's all it does. It's all it's there for. And I was like, I can get $20 out of that. And that's like 5 minutes away. So I go to that one. Now, mind you, I've been gone for over an hour.
You know,
KFC
my-
closed.
Your wife calling.
my like relaxing Sunday evening,
Game is over.
watching the Sunday night football from like, because it was nice out, and we actually my wife and I we have our deck. I'll send you pictures, but it's lit, and we actually put up a outdoor TV out there, and I was just sitting on a couch on our deck, enjoying a beverage and just watching Sunday Night Football, and just super relaxing. And it's just like, it's kind of like, it's like you hear like the outdoor world as well. It's super cool. Obviously it won't be used very much during the winter, but right now it's like the perfect weather. And I was just like, well, I'm going to do this. So I go to that ATM works. I get my money. I drive to the place, and I get there, and it's a ghost town. There's like nobody there anymore. So like, and I walk in, and I hand them the coupon, and they look at it, and they're like, oh. And I was like, and they're like, she says to me, I have one chicken breast left, because I said I only want original recipe. She's like, I have one chicken breast left and 3 wings. And I was like, fine, I'll take it.
What did you want? What was the
Well, I
original?
wanted the deal, which was like a breast, a thigh, and a leg, or something like that. I don't know what it was. It was on the coupon.
It was a 3-piece.
Yeah, but I got
No wing.
I got it. I got my food, and I got my thing of I got my little cup of mashed potatoes and gravy. And I got home, and I got it. But man, it was like, for a thing that was supposed to take me like 20 minutes tops to go there, grab it, and come back and just be able to relax. I was out of the house for like an hour and 20 minutes. It's just like
$30 in gas later.
pretty much. But I did, but
But I saved $9.
Every single person I dealt with was incredibly polite and kind, and like, they were like, hey, what's up? And everybody was super nice. It was just and the credit card machine worked when I got back. They were like, oh yeah, well, it works now. I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, and then I got home, and and it wasn't.
Now I want Kentucky Fried Chicken. We had Popeyes on Saturday.
My wife loves Popeyes.
It's all right.
Did I ever tell? I think I told you guys I worked at Popeyes.
Yeah, you did. That sounds like an awesome job.
Sucky ass job. That was terrible.
Yeah, sure it was, Scott.
It was hard AF, and it sucked.
3:30.
$3.35 an hour. I went home beat up and burned and like constantly annoyed.
People do that too.
But we ordered DoorDash. I mean, we don't want to go out to pick something up for game days because we don't want to waste the time going, even though it's like 5 minutes away. So we ordered DoorDash, and of course, we ordered the 16-piece family meal, 4 people, 5 people. It's like perfect amount of chicken. It's like almost too much. And then we get mashed potatoes, French fries, and Cajun rice. That's like perfect. It's like you get 1 little spoon of each thing. Each person gets enough. It's done. It's like easy. But of course it comes, no mashed potatoes, a huge box of fries, like the whole, like 3, I think it was like 2 huge orders of fries, red beans and rice, and nothing spicy, which sucked, which whatever. I ate it, but didn't bother me that much. I had a wing and a drumstick. And Kabuki Kid says drummy's not a word.
Oh,
You call it drummies?
you never worked at a bar then, young lady. You never worked at a bar in the
drummies.
Midwest. I mean, I always had to make I always would end up having to make a order of drummies before
Hold the
wings.
flats.
Before wings.
I've
were a
switched
thing.
my preference of wings from drummies to flats.
Yeah, I
You
did
get
a
more.
while
You get
ago.
more.
Yeah, I don't know. Did I tell you guys about the time I burned my eye at Popeyes? I think I told you. Have I?
No, this is great. I
This
want
is
to hear
me.
these stories. This is
I feel like I've
amazing.
told this story.
You shouldn't start
Um,
grease for the
It was my
staff.
first week. and you're training,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, you need to season 10 cases of chicken. I'm like, okay, doesn't sound like a lot. By the way, a case of chicken's 40 pieces.
It's like 50 pounds.
And it's like 50 pounds of chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, 10 cases? Like, holy shit. So you start the process. Now, the chicken, while it does come cut, it is not cleaned. Meaning you have to clean it all and pick off the feathers. Like it's mostly feathered, but not perfect.
Yeah.
It has tons of feathers. It has tons of gristle, tons of fat, weird nuggets of guts hanging off it. Yeah, like, oh, it's just the worst job. So what you do is you take the case of chicken, you dump it in the sink, and you fill it with ice, and then you rinse the chicken and you clean it all, and you pull off the shit, and then you put it in the sink and you season it in the sink. Which it's a clean sink. It's not like a sink where you wash dishes. It's like a sanitized sink. So you take the sauce packet or the packet of seasoning, which is like like a packet, like a good bunch of packets. You sprinkle it. You cut the lid thing off. You sprinkle it. This is a spicy one, by the way. The mild one has no, in my opinion, it's salt. I think it's just MSG and salt.
Probably.
It has no flavor, in my opinion. Yeah, a case of chicken is 40 pounds. That's what Paul Tompkins said. So the spicy gets on there, and then you put these industrial gloves on that go up to your elbow, right? And then you toss the chicken in the spice so it gets all seasoned and like covered.
Okay.
Of course, now in the process of tossing the chicken,
Somebody wiped their eyes.
I fucking splashed it in my eye.
Oh.
Like, because it's floppy chicken. It's like, you're tossing it around and like smack the chicken smacking, and then like a piece, and this is before I was wearing glasses. By the way, I still don't have my glasses. A little nugget of it got in my right corner of my eye, and immediately I went to it, and I went to grab it, and then of course I touched it when the fucking glove on. So I added more to my face. Oh my god, it was the worst day.
Great.
And I told them, I'm like, I can't work because they don't have like eye wash or anything. It's just like pour the water. Like I was trying to, of course, then you've got like a case of chicken in the sink, seasoning everything. You gotta sort it all and put it in the tubs because it's all sorted, right? Because when you're going to fry it, you got to pull out certain parts. So I'm like, I can't do anything. I'm trying to clean my eye. I tell the manager, I'm like, I got the shit in my eye. Of course, I didn't say shit. I was like 14 at the time. I worked way young, by the way. I was like I was an underage worker.
So was I.
And so it gets in my eye, and I'm like, I gotta leave because I can't see, and I'm just in pure pain. And plus, I rode my bike, so they let me go, and they were not happy with letting me go. They were just like, ugh, fine. There was no like concern over me hurt or injured on the
it's a different
job.
world.
No, it's just like, okay, Scotty. He called me Scotty. That was my name. All right, Scotty, go home. Like you could just sense the disdain,
the derision
in their voice. Yeah. By the way, there was $3.35 an hour. I asked for a raise like a year in. I worked there for like a fucking year. I asked her for a raise. They gave me $5. They didn't want to give it to me. He was like, I don't think you deserve it. Or something. I forget. He said something that really made me upset. I was like, I'm almost like cried. And then finally they're like, okay, we'll give you a raise. 5 cents. I'm like,
5 cents.
can you just imagine the amount of hours you have to work to make a quarter or $1? Like, that was hard ass work too, man. Constantly burning myself. You have to scrub the fucking floors. It sucked. You have to drain the oil. You have to filter the oil. It was so pain in the ass of a job.
I mean, to be fair, I mean the guy working. I mean, he made dirt. I mean,
The manager, yeah, probably. He probably made like
he was probably salary working 60 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean those guys were there all the time.
Making like 18 grand or something. Just like something garbage.
They never let me do the biscuits too because that was too hard.
Too complex for you.
Well, the biscuits had to be a certain way.
You couldn't handle chicken. You want to go to biscuits?
I couldn't
Scott?
barely do the chicken. They were like the biscuits. I mean, I freaking love the Popeyes biscuits, man. Ugh. That shit's good.
It is weird, like, I mean,
So you get a
how-
quarter an hour?
5 cents.
we live in a situation now where, like, you try to tell somebody that you were being paid minimum wage for a job, like, my first job flipping burgers, like, yeah, $3.35 an hour. You tell people that,
Yeah,
and they
mine
look at you
wasn't
like
quite that way.
I
they
don't
look at you
understand.
like you've got a piece of wood growing out of your head.
Yeah.
It's just like.
But here's the thing. I was
think-
14 and I had money.
Yeah.
Like I worked almost 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
I remember getting like a couple $100 a week.
Yeah,
Not
I
a
was
couple-
the
I
same
think it was
way,
like
Scott.
$100 a week.
No,
if I
it was
remember
a
correctly.
couple. I think it
Maybe
was.
like, yeah, after tax it would be like $90. But I always had like the money. No one else had money.
I think when I started it was 5 1/4, but I was underage. I was officially on the books. I was 14.
When I worked at
actually
McDonald's,
12.
I was making 5.
Uh,
I worked at
Big
McDonald's
money.
too. Yeah,
Big
I think
money.
I told you guys I worked at McDonald's.
yeah, I really did.
Yeah, I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Chick-fil-A. I worked at TCBY. I worked at Popeyes. I feel like there was
Oh,
something else in there, but I don't remember. No, I think that was it.
You're bringing
TCBY
home
was the
big
best.
bucks.
It was the easiest job.
Big books.
I wore the brown polyester Chick-fil-A outfit
Mm.
with the tam o'shanter.
Uh,
I think we've gone through.
Yeah, we did. I never worked for a corporation. Like I worked for a private, a hoagie, a delicatessen, and a store, grocery store, but never a corporation like that until SEPTA. But that's not really a corporation. It's an authority.
I also worked at a Ding and Dent grocery store.
Ding
They
and
would
Dink
they would
grocery?
buy Ding and Dent cans, right? So it was
Oh,
called
okay.
it was called Miami Depot. I think that's what it was called. Not like home. It was Miami Depot. And they would sell shit that looked gross to me. Like I would not. I mean, in my adult life, I would never buy any of that stuff because the can would kind of look like rusted. Like they look old. Something was messed up about them. There was always something wrong.
We don't usually take rusty money.
Usually not.
That was another place I was making. I think I was making $3.15 an hour.
350.
I think. And then I get my dime raise, and now I'm making $3.25. I was 13. I worked way too young.
Yeah,
I feel like I lost my childhood, unfortunately.
So do I. I was 12.
My stepfather
Yeah.
was an asshole.
Mine was
Didn't
dead.
work. He's dead.
He was dead. He died of a heroin overdose.
Yeah, mine died too.
Yeah.
Not a heroin overdose. Yeah.
But I'm sure, I think it was 90 when I started. 90,
Heroin?
91. No, I started
1990?
heroin later. Yeah, 1990.
Yeah, I think I was 1984. I was 13. I remember they needed a signature. So we just made up this fake. It wasn't fake. I mean, it was just a letter with my parents' signature on there. Like, I authorize my child to work for you. Like it was just a piece of paper, like nothing official, nothing real.
Oh, that's how it was back. I mean, now I was talking to my brother about that with my nephews. Like, them opportunities just aren't there. Like, you can't work under the table at a pizza restaurant or something like that.
My brother-in-law's kids, I think I don't know if he got the job. He tried to get a job at not a grocery store, at a ice cream shop, but I don't know if he got it.
Yeah,
I meant to ask them about that. But his parents don't they don't care if he works. They don't forbid him. They don't forbid him, and they don't encourage him.
I think kids should work just to get a sense of responsibility and freedom.
That's an adult. Yeah, that's a grown-up thing to say, but I don't know. I have second thoughts.
I don't mean as young.
I missed out on so much stuff because
I hear you.
Because of working.
I don't mean as young as we were.
But you had so much stuff because you had money.
Yeah, but it's a trade-off, right? Like you don't get to go out and hang out on Friday night because I got to go get up at 5 a.m. and McDonald's it starts at fucking 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, like on Saturdays. So I'm like, I can't go out.
You know, I mean, there's two things.
That
I
was my whole
learned.
high school.
Yeah, mine too, Scott. I don't mean quite as young as we were. I'm saying like 16, 17, you know, that age.
That was the years I wanted to do more than, you know.
Oh, of course, but I mean,
But
you're
you know,
also spending more, so you know, financial on your parents and all that. You know, you want to get cars and girls.
I had a car.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I, but I'm saying, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
If I had life to live over again, I would try not to work as a
So
kid.
would I.
But who knows? Who knows what the world changed?
Yeah.
What things would have changed if I was not a worker? And like I had a friend who basically just had everything, you know.
No.
What are they doing now?
He runs a vitamin shop.
Mhm.
I think he's
Well,
all
are
right,
they-
doing all right.
Are they happy?
One of the guys works for Publix. He's a driver.
Publix? That's where my father worked.
His father was he was a worker. Like his dad was blue collar truck driver.
Hmm.
And he is now a truck driver.
Oh, okay.
And when we met, we got together online as a group, and we all look at each other like, holy shit, are we all fucking old? We look at you. I could tell everybody was kind of like staring at everybody else. You know, you're kind of like, because we hadn't seen each other in like 30 years, not since college, before college. Some of them.
Well, you are old.
You are.
No, I know. Dale, we all looked old.
I mean, that's.
But yeah, the guy with the vitamin shop was pretty well off. He always had the best car. Given, you know, he went through many cars. He kept fucking them up, getting new
Yeah.
ones. So spoiled.
I had a buddy like that. That his dad was a lawyer, and I don't remember him ever having a job. I'm trying to think of if he ever did. I don't even think he had one in college. And whatever. I mean, like, he seems like it's fine. But I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna. I didn't hold it.
No, yeah, I mean, it's
Whatever. You know. Whatever,
life
you know.
has come what may, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
You get what you get.
one of my other buddies went in the army right out of high school,
Mm.
and he was basically just retired last week. He called me up out of the blue. I'm like, I recognize that name. And I was like, normally I wouldn't answer it. Like, I'm like, what am I gonna say? But I talked to him for like an hour. It was pretty interesting catching up. I literally had not talked to him since high school.
Really?
How do you
That's
know the name of the
cool.
person calling you?
The name
It was
don't
Facebook.
change.
It was Facebook.
Oh, gotcha. I got you.
I mean, you know, you Facebook friend, you know, you like, it's been like, how long has Facebook been around now? Like 10 years or more, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where, you know, when you get on there, you add all your high school friends because, hey, there's all your high school friends in the same place, and then you don't talk to them because you don't interact with them. At least I don't.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I get a call like, that is a person I went to high school with.
I still tell a guy I went to high school. He actually works at the hoagie shop. I got him into. He's still there. He's the manager. He took over the management.
He doesn't
when
own
I
it?
left. Nah, I think it's going to go to Dave's kid, the owner's kid, probably. If
Oh,
it
Dave's kid.
if it
Gotcha.
survives,
Dave's
it's in a very bad neighborhood. It's in Kensington, which is the fucking war zone right now. It's where all the
Well, that's too bad for
opioid shit
Dave's kid.
is. Yes, it is. But yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I try to get him to go with me with SEPTA and all that, and he won. He enjoys it. I couldn't stand people that long, but that's just me. Yeah.
Did any of
I-
you guys watch the live stream from Essen today?
I did not.
Check Games
Nah.
Edition did a live stream. No,
Did they? I didn't know they did.
I watched it for a while.
I'm
Anything
sure it was
good?
amazing, and I'm sure I like check games.
You know, it's tough. it's hard to be a viewer of those kind of things. I mean, I'm glad they're doing it. I mean, they basically said something like, okay, since BGG's not here, we're going to do it. And they, they were doing the same thing we did back in, they just cycled the games out. But it's just hard to watch that stuff. Being a viewer.
Yeah. I mean, if you were doing it, it's like you start critiquing it, and I would have done it like this.
I was trying to be totally like, I just want to be interested. I want to be entertained. I want to see the games. But like 5 minutes in, my brain shut off, and then I'm like, okay, I can go watch, my Andor episodes that I haven't watched, like that. Like, I tried to stay on. I was like, but it just doesn't. I think that things have changed so much that it's me too. I've changed, right? I don't want to watch it as personally don't want to watch it. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. You know,
we laugh and joke about, being kind of out of it as far as the industry goes and playing games and whatever you. It's one of those things where, like you hear from people that say, oh yeah, I totally like, oh yeah, I watched this and I watched that game and I want to get this game, and like I'm just like, really?
The fire burns bright at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like,
but after like 22 years, it's sort of, I mean, I still have a great desire. Like Beth sent me a picture of all the games they grabbed today, because the team is there. It's day 0, by the way. Today is the setup day, or it's press day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is first full day. And I'm like, oh, I want to play that. Oh, I want to play that. Oh, I want to play that. But so the desire is they're still.
You just don't want to do what the work
still burns. The fire still burns.
Them live streams are tough because they're slow.
They are, and that's the frustrating thing is like, and that was the thing I struggled with. I'm like, it's hard to make it good because you don't know who you're going to get presenting.
Right.
And then the work you have to put in if you want to be the presenter is like a full-time fucking job. Like, I mean, you have to spend hours researching and learning those games and then presenting them as if they were your own, like in a good way. Like in fact, that's a product we sell. Like if that's what they want, then we can do it. But it's hard to do it without that, that motivation to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I remember, Man vs. Meeple did a good job with that stuff. The game days they were doing, where they would just play one game after another all day.
That's a little different, though. I mean,
but that's still hard work. They got to learn those games.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
they were not relying on the person with the game coming off.
Yeah, exactly. They had to do it themselves. But like, I mean, it's hard work, but it is fun. It is games in the end. But it's still hard.
And then over in Essen, you got to deal with the language barriers and.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of harsh whatever.
Bro,
the harsh accents, and where you're like, it was fine though. It was what it was. It is what it was, or whatever.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It's as good as it can be, I think, and they did a great job.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
And I saw them with the boards. They had these really heavy boards, like thick wood. I'm like, ooh, that guy's getting his muscles. Like he was bringing the boards in and taking them away,
Yeah.
Oh, like plywood with the game setup.
Yeah, they were like plywood.
Okay.
Boards. Yeah. Because otherwise, you got to set the board, take games up and take them down. Like
that makes sense.
It takes up a lot of time.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the whole team's over there now.
Yeah. Anyway, a little FOMO. Yep.
And they got the
7 people.
Sunday.
Monday is when they
come back.
Some of them are coming back on Monday. Some are staying and doing something other stuff.
Oh, that's cool. It's only 700 games.
Yep. Not staying at that fucking hotel. Fuck that hotel.
Fuck that hotel.
They can eat shit.
What was the name of it?
Atlantic Congress.
Don't even give them the.
I'm not even gonna give them the name. Yeah, the name.
Yeah, fuck that hotel.
Yeah, fuck that hotel.
Yeah, that is kind of fucked up. But then again, they had you by the balls, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I charge my card.
I'm sure you're
It
not
was
the
a
only one.
year in advance. I mean, like here, I don't know. I mean, I guess if I really wanted to be some kind of ball buster, I could figure out a way to get my money back. But like, who else? I mean,
Would it be
I
worth
got
it?
I had shit to do.
I got companies to run, whips to crack over people.
Yeah.
I saw Eric Lang posted a COVID positive test today, so he's not going to go.
Yeah,
That sucks. I hope he's okay.
yeah. So
Yeah, does suck. Right before the show.
yeah. People.
What if like, and I'm not saying he did this. What if he didn't want to go, so he just like.
Said, fuck
I
it.
don't think anybody wants to.
I'm going to risk my
no,
life
no, like
just not to go to
you
a
just
con.
take a COVID
You remember how
test,
shitty it was?
Oh, yeah, but no. I'm not saying you have it. Like, but I'm not saying anybody, and this is by no means. But if you really didn't want to go, but you felt like you had to go, but you needed an excuse. Okay, give me the. You have a buddy who got. Give me the test thing that you have there. Let me just take a picture of this.
Give me your test stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see.
I mean,
people
Eric
doing
wants to
that.
go. I mean, that's his life. That's his business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's our business too. I mean, it would suck if people couldn't go. Figure out a solution if there was some kind of problem. But
Yeah.
I have a grievance.
Ooh, what's your grievance, Matthew?
Oh,
do tell.
It's like, it's live right now.
Oh no, it's a in process.
Yeah,
Grievance in
it's
progress.
like- it's in utero. So
In
I'm-
utero.
we're prepping the page for the Kickstarter for Wonderland's War Restart, right? And I'm iterating the images, and I go to upload the new or replace the image, one of the images online.
Yeah.
And I go delete. Usually you can put your cursor below it, because if you put your cursor below it, if you click the delete button on the image, it pops you back up to the top of the page. But if you put your cursor below it, just hit backspace, it keeps you where you need to, because sometimes the pages are very long, right?
Yeah.
So you don't like having to scroll
You don't
back
wanna mix
down
it
to
up.
where you want to be is a pain in the ass. So, but I couldn't do either in this case to get rid of the image. It wouldn't go anywhere. I put my cursor below it, I hit backspace, it just, nothing happened. It wouldn't move.
This is the Kickstarter editor.
Yeah, which is
Primo.
pretty fantastic if I do say so myself. So I submitted a support ticket. They respond within like 10 minutes. It was great.
Wow.
And they're like, what did they say? It doesn't appear that this email address is associated with any Kickstarter projects. What are you talking about?
Oh, they sent you sent by email, not their online ticket system.
Correct. And I'm
Oh.
like, and they're like, it would help if you could respond from that email address. I'm like, I am responding from that email address. What the fuck is your problem?
Well, the best thing is that getting customer support from Kickstarter is super easy and fast.
If they got back in you in 10 minutes, that's better than what I've heard.
Well, it's for the back end, right? What are the people that make them money? So maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe I didn't log in. No, I did log in with the right email address. Hold on, let me just check. Maybe
Oh, now you're second guessing.
Maybe I'm talking out of my
it's
ass
like-
here.
Maybe
Hold
you're
on.
the one who should
Maybe
should have a grievance filed against you.
it's user.
Hold on.
User error. Kebcac. What is it called?
Pepcac
Pepcac.
or the ID 10T error.
What's the
You know
ID
that one?
10T? No, I don't know 10T. What is that?
If you just write it out, it's like looks like idiot.
I have not heard that one.
Profile. Am I what am I doing here?
Like long
Uh,
walks.
Well,
No,
we're in a
this
German. We're in a
is-
German hotel, but it's not that one. That it's not the Atlantic Congress. We're at the hotel. Hotel 1? No.
Took
Hold
your
on.
money and laughed at you.
I was gonna say
Hold on, I'll tell you which hotel it is.
it's in.
They're all
that's
like,
it,
it's amazing. It's such an amazing hotel. I'm like, oh, good.
It's
Money
much
well
better than that
spent.
other one.
What about the other one that you gave a bad Yelp review to?
I have not given a bad Yelp review.
This is the correct email address. These guys are on fucking crack.
Fucking crack. Hotel, Select Hotel. It's called the Select Hotel.
Is it German hotel?
Select Hotel Handelshof. It used to be the Move and Pick.
Moving
The
back?
Move and Pick.
That's the name of used to be the name of a restaurant, kind of like an old food court restaurant type thing here. I don't know if they have them in the
Move and
States.
Pick. I think it's a chain.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a chain.
You can go to like different stations and get different things made, and you just at the end of the thing they give you a little, they stamp your card or whatever, and at the end you just give your card over.
Yeah. Is that the Vapiano's? Restaurant called Vapiano's, where you would just order and then you take the card.
Marcellino, I think it was called.
Hmm.
It was in the Rito Center.
Well, I feel a little FOMO. Mostly because I want to see the team, and I do not miss the work, man. Whew.
You only got a month and a half, Scott. Not even.
No, well, I mean, going to Essen is fun. Can be fun. Let me tell you about, well, go ahead.
No, I mean, I always thought I mean, the one time I was Essen, it is super cool. I mean, it's just, I don't know how else to describe, just kind of like being there and being in a different country, but like the whole thing about everybody kind of being, because everybody likes, everybody's there that, really likes board games and what have you. So it's like you have this kind of like,
Yeah, it's a shared experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, and for me, it's like weird little things, right? So
The little differences.
it's the little
Little
differences.
differences.
No, I mean, it was the
Like Big Mac.
no, for me it was like the weird like this kind of like finding a little like pizza place that was being run by like,
Korean.
Did you ever go to the place that sold the pizza that was like a trash can lid size pizza? Did you ever go to that place? Oh my god, that was so good.
Okay,
One
I
of the
believe
best.
you.
We always get trapped into those long dinners at those restaurants because dining in Europe is quite different than the dining in America. They don't care about turning tables. When you get a table booked for a night or for a dinner at a restaurant in Germany, you are getting the table for the entire evening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I
There is
remember
no
working
turning
upstairs
tables.
at the Hard Rock one year, and I was working a party of 25, and 7:00 it started. I get there and I'm waiting to, one person shows up. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Can I get you a drink? Sure, I'll have a Sprite or whatever it was. And 20 minutes goes by, half an hour goes by. I'm like, your friends coming? They're like, oh, I'm just here to hold the table. They're gonna be here in a couple of hours.
Oh,
Ouch.
that's
like,
fucked up.
Yeah,
You work
that's
for
not
tips,
how
though,
it
right?
works.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a rezo too.
Was it?
I don't understand that.
That's my least favorite restaurant in the world.
Tipping
Matt.
in Germany is not a thing either.
In Europe.
In Europe
mostly.
in general, from what I
Mostly.
understand. Yeah, I had somebody from Ireland tell me that.
They're not a service oriented, like, you'll get your food and drink, but it's not like they're not really bending over backwards to take care of you because they're not in it for them.
Right.
The United States is the customer service. They're known for customer service, right?
Is Canada
Especially
like
the South.
Is Canada like that too?
Like what?
Just like
Customer service.
a customer service oriented economy.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly the same.
Yeah.
Matt, do you know how the restaurant industry works? Like down here, they make below minimum wage usually.
Yeah,
and
you
they
make
rely
$2
on
an hour as
tips.
a waiter.
Is it like that up in Canada too? Where they're relying on tips?
I doubt it. There's no fucking way.
So
I don't know.
when I worked at Hard Rock, I was making $6 something an hour. That was restaurant minimum wage. And then there was a little higher was regular minimum wage.
Oh, so they had two minimum wages. That's interesting.
I wonder Ontario. When I don't think it's a thing anymore. A liquor server wage, both right now, both general minimum wage and liquor server wage are both the same at 15.20 an hour.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, when I used to work at Famous Players movie theater, I was making like $5.25 an hour, I think.
Yeah.
And it was great. So it's like I used to work like Christmas Day, and it was like double time and a half for stat holidays. It was awesome.
Yeah, I don't miss that, man. I worked every holiday for many years.
I didn't mind it.
I took certain holidays because I didn't have family, like Christmas. You know, some of the guys had families and all that, young ones. But
Right.
like
What a bunch of suckers having families.
it's
Yeah. It's a sham.
I usually took Thanksgiving off because that's my favorite holiday. But other than that, I worked every holiday, 4th of July, every all of them, double time and overtime and all that. I don't miss that at all. I was talking to Jen about that all the time. I dumped into that.
When I worked at US Bank, like because
Oh,
it like you could work on major holidays and you got double pay. And I was like, and then that was like, so when I was young and didn't have, it's like, oh, well, I'm not gonna like make it a point to like, I mean, I can work during the day and I can make it to Thanksgiving later, kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take.
When you're single, it doesn't really matter.
I'm gonna take the
Yeah.
double cash. Thanks. Yeah.
Matt, have you been to Essen?
I've never been in Europe.
Do you want to go? You should go.
I would love to go.
It would be your, I mean, as you grow in your fields, I feel like you pretty much have to go.
Yeah, if I go,
You've never been
I'd
to
have
Europe?
to. This sounds horrible, but I'd have to bring Giselle with me.
You don't
Um,
have
fun.
to.
Yeah, I
No,
bring
because-
Michelle.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah, because neither of us have been to Europe, and if I
Yeah.
went without her,
Yeah,
she wouldn't be able to let you
she's
come
like-
home.
she's like,
Here's what
that's
you do.
fine.
Go a week
that's fine.
early.
She said you can go do your shit during the day, and then in the evenings we'll do other stuff.
Yeah.
That's what Michelle did. I mean, although
Yeah.
Michelle started working for me, and it's working in the booth.
Yeah.
But when me and Michelle went to the first Essen, she did her own thing. Like she did not come in because she was basically asthmatic, and she couldn't tolerate the halls because they were so smoky.
Are they still
Now-
allowed to smoke in the
it's
hall?
non-smoking now. It's
that's good.
changed. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, go a week early and do Paris, and then take a train to Essen. That's what we do. Fun.
Yeah.
is fun.
Nathan and Molly went a week early, and they had a vacation.
Well, the one time we were on the train we were getting the train in Amsterdam to go to Germany, and they're flipping out and they're like, get on this train now. And we're like, why? And they're like, just get on the train. And we're like, but that's going to Holland. Just get on the train. And we're like, and the train's fucking leaving and it's pulling away. And it's like, I almost get like left behind. Like the thing closes on my leg almost. Like, I'm like, shit, we're on the train. Okay, we're on. But we didn't know what was going on. So we get on there and we get to Holland. Of course, it's not going to Germany. They drop us off and then they just they're doing one of these things where you're just like twirling your finger and pointing in a direction. And we get on buses and we finally get to Germany. But someone finally told us in English that someone had killed themselves. Or no, they didn't tell us this. I found out a week later. We still didn't know why we were getting sent to Germany by bus. The week later, I'm picking up my bag return, and a guy next to me is like, "Did you guys just get back from Germany, Essen?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I'm blah blah blah," and like, "Oh, you're Aldi from Board Game. I know you." He knew me. I'm like, "Oh, cool, nice to meet you." He goes, "I'm like, yeah, we had this weird." He goes, "We were going to Amsterdam for some reason. They were going out to Amsterdam, and we were coming back from it. Or like we had crossed in the path, right?" And he was like, yeah, the train on to Amsterdam from Germany got shut down because someone killed themselves.
Wow.
Apparently this is a common thing.
More common than you realize.
They
God.
shut down the train because someone kills himself on the train. They throw
One of the
themselves off
guys-
tracks.
Yeah, this is the season. It'll start soon. Well,
One of the
in my
guys I used to work
experience.
with at the bank, he works for CSIS now, which is like I guess the CIA / Secret Service
Okay.
equivalent.
Hmm.
FBI is the CMP. Anyways, he would earn his money when he was in Germany by going to the train station and translating for English speaking people to
Mm.
get their tickets for them and stuff. And he would
It's a
charge
nightmare,
fee.
man. Especially with the train system, because no one really does speak English. Like it's always seems like when you go to the trains, like the language barrier goes up. Like
The great
I've
thing
never
now is
had
you
any
can hold your
problems
phone
anywhere.
up, right? And you can like the translation apps.
Yeah. If you got Wi-Fi or if you got cell, yeah, sure.
Sure.
If you can get a translation, but I finally got an international phone. Of course, now I don't go anymore. So I'm like, what do I do with this phone? But
You can't use
the
the North American phone over there.
The Google phones work everywhere. No, you can. Well, most if you do at AT&T, you cannot. I mean, you can. You want to pay your big money,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
pay
pay
out
big
the
money.
ass. Yeah.
But the Google phones work anywhere in the world.
There's usually a thing that you can turn on for like it'll cost
Yeah,
you.
you can
like,
get like
you
a
know,
week of
you can get a week and
really
it'll
shitty
cost, it'll cost
bandwidth.
you an extra $60 or something.
And you'll get the
Okay.
worst bandwidth. Like it's awful. But the Google phone is unlimited no matter where you go. It works worldwide. People don't really know that.
I heard
Yeah.
that.
I actually got my Google phone activated in Cuba
Ooh.
on the cruise. We were going by Cuba, and it said "Welcome to Cuba" on the phone. Like,
Cool.
what? How is this possible? Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Google, did you hear they canceled Stadia?
Which-
Yeah, I never
that
opened
was-
I had the system. I never opened it. I should have.
What was Stadia?
You can return it and get full refund.
I got it for free.
Oh, well, you can
It was
get
like it was one of
$0
those
back
things you
then.
just get it for free.
Yeah, the Google
Streaming
streaming
games.
video game thing.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
It came
well,
out 2 or 3 years ago, and they just announced that they are going to end service in January, and they're going to refund any money spent on the hardware. They're going to refund everybody.
Google Fi, Rob.
yeah, I remember them advertising that
Google
hard
Fi
for
is
a
a
while.
service you can get. I don't think you can get it for the iPhone. Maybe you can with some hacks.
Maybe.
But the Google phone, what is it called? The I can't remember.
Pixel?
The Pixel.
I think that's it. Yeah.
So I have a Pixel with the Google Fi in it. I used it in Europe. I used it in Canada. I used it in Cuba.
I love my 8-year-old phone.
Yeah.
I
How
got
does yours
actually
old?
it's only like 5 or 6 years old, but it's
Yeah.
my Note 8. It's just every single time I think it's gonna quit on me, or like it just they
Keeps
do an
going.
update or something, it just keeps going. Though they did say that they were going to, I forget what it was. They said something like that they like a year ago they said they're not supporting it anymore. Like you're not gonna be able.
Wah, wah.
Is that an Android operating system?
Yeah.
That's the reason I upgraded my iPhone. I was on an iPhone 6, and a couple years ago we went up to the 12 or whatever. But the only reason I did was because they kept putting so much shit in the operating system. I was running out of memory, or I would have still stuck with that one.
Hey, the dice coins topped $1 million yesterday.
That's insane.
$1 million?
The what? Oh, the dice thing. Yeah, we wrote to them asking for retail, but I don't know if that. I think it might be overwhelmed.
Oh, you want Tanner's email address?
No, we wrote him. But
He definitely. Well, that's one thing he mentioned. He's like, we need to make the retailer more prominent on the page. So
yeah, we'd buy some.
Scotty will buy it.
I can't. I mean, when Beth gets back, we'll get her on it.
He's the multi-million-dollar man.
Hey, everybody,
Power,
look, it's
power.
Forrest.
It's the hour of Bauer power.
The Pellicore Bandit. Notice
Oh,
it popped up
God.
again today. Where's the
The what?
price? What's the price?
It's now over a penny. Like it's actually slowly
wow.
going up.
oh,
They're about
Does
to
that mean-
completely sell out of all of them, and then the
Does that
price.
mean you're
will-
going to make money?
A couple of years, maybe. Yeah.
What did you spend on each one?
Kids out
Less
of
than
high
3.5 cents on all of them, and right now they're worth 1.1 cent.
And how many do you own?
Couple thousand.
Thousands.
So
Hey, did anybody watch that GameStop Netflix
No.
thing?
No,
time out, time out.
we're going to watch it this weekend.
Yeah, I did. It
You're
was
burying
it
the
was
lead here just slightly.
Mhm.
So, what? And you bought them about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a year to the day, right? Because I
About a
set up
year
the
to the
timer
day.
to come up.
Mhm.
So if they go up to a nickel, you'll have made like $40 on your
No, because a bunch of them are high rank. I have like 3,000 Pellicore Bandits, but I have a bunch of level 10s, level 9s, which is like
no, I'm talking about just the Pellicore Bandits.
well, the Pellicore it levels up. So a level 2 is like having 5 level 1s. A level 10 is like having
What the hell is a Pellicore Bandit?
It's an NFT. It's an NFT.
An NFT game.
Oh,
This
no
well,
fucking thanks.
Ah!
I like that. I not heard that fucking
That's
thing.
pretty good. I
That's a
like
good
that.
one.
I just made it up.
You should put that on a shirt. Congrats on the $1 million plus on those flip coins. Those things are going off.
Yeah,
And I mean,
thanks.
how big are the coins?
2 inches.
So
That's pretty small.
They're this
I
big.
am not
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's bigger than I thought.
I am not here to tell anybody how to spend their money, because if they want to get those coins, they should be able to buy 1 million of them if they want to.
And they will.
But I cannot see how using that coin has any other than it looking really fucking cool.
Well, that's the point.
I have no idea, like utility wise, why I wouldn't want to roll a die instead.
So
Because
no,
you want to look cooler, Lance.
no, I think there's a very neat niche for these coins. And
$1 million
$1 million
apparently.
worth.
well, no, I mean like it's gonna be if you want to do a special roll, or if you want to work them into the lore of the campaign, or if you just
You want
want
to use your imagination? Is that what you're saying?
well, no, it's because it's these aren't your everyday rollers, right? Like I don't want to roll if I have to attack 3 times in one round. I don't want to fucking roll this thing every time. But if I have to do a skill check that is like contingent upon me completing it to do some big thing, maybe I'll roll that for like a gravitas,
It's
Little
his lucky
gravitas.
die.
I think the bottom line is there are quite literally millions of people who collect dice, and this is like
Oh.
totally
Well,
like
yeah,
I want one. I
accessories-
don't even collect dice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Accessories
it's
is
a
where the
collectible.
money's at, right?
Yeah.
No matter what you do, board games, sports, fucking cars,
Yeah.
whatever it is, accessories is the money.
Yeah.
Like I have a feeling like if he just set up with a whole boatload of these at like Gen Con or Origins, people go nuts for it.
Oh yeah.
Like the drive-by appeal of like, what the hell is that thing? Oh, that's
Well,
a
look
die?
at
Where
look
does
at the
Tanner
lines
live?
at look at the lines at Norse Foundry and fucking Level Up Dice every year at Gen
Yep.
Con. I
Where
bought
does-
5 sets of dice this year at Level Out at Norse Foundry.
And he didn't even need them.
No. I got dice coming up my wazoo.
Is Tanner American?
He's from Utah.
So he's kind
Almost American, yeah.
of great minds, Barry. Great minds.
So he's
Or
more.
is it just high
He's,
minds?
he's a Mormon.
There's a high probability, yeah.
I believe he is, yes.
Good for him. Good for him. What was he like? What was he? Was he expecting it to be this big? Was he hopeful? Like, did you talk to him about like his expectations?
It's kind of on track for what he's hoping.
Nice.
Yeah.
On
He's
track
helping. He
for-
got
it's on
help from.
track. For what he's opening means he's
He's-
not there yet.
He's
No,
thinking
he got
big.
help from Green Inbox, who is like a marketing services company.
Does that really help?
Yes.
Well, $1 million
re-
says yes.
it really does actually. They took his campaign, his was it the Battle Atlas, Battle Maps one? It was like kind of middling around 350, and then they got involved, and it shot up in the last week to like 950.
Woo! Wow.
So it really does help. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to understand what the secret sauce is, but because I mean, like there was
What
some
company
stuff.
is this?
Green what?
Green Inbox.
Green Inbox. Woo! Tech marketing company.
It has
Oh,
to
they get
be.
it. They get it in front of the right eyeballs. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that is a
That's wonderful.
huge Nemesis lockdown. Or oh man, yeah.
Oh yeah, they've got some big ones. Like from what I understand, they invest with the ad buys, and they kind of do all the ad buying for you and stuff. And
I feel like
and-
Ted would have chose a different picture. Is anybody else in the Green Inbox website? Ted's picture, Ted Elsback, is one I think you'd probably give him a different one. Like he's just doing a weird thing with his face, like it's mid smile. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Do you see the picture?
No, I'm not looking at the picture.
Like 100%, he would not pick this picture.
Why is there
Or-
a picture of someone paddleboarding? A video.
because
It's in
it's
giggles.
the product for Kickstarter. It was a
I see.
kayak.
Oh, that is a slick. I want that. That is slick.
I think that's a great photo of Ted.
Really?
He's like, hey, how's it going?
Would you want that picture up of you, or would you give him a different one?
All depends.
It's interesting.
I'm
that-
not Ted, but I know Ted. I think that fits for his personality.
It's interesting that they claim that they're responsible for a lot of these. I mean, I think
Well-
those things would be successful in many ways besides just.
Well, they
Yeah,
have
like
quotes.
Nemesis Lockdown. Sure.
I mean, come on, that game's like huge.
Yeah, but look at the quotes. I feel like if you read the quotes, they really do help. We found Green's Inbox ads to be very effective in reaching our target demographics. We're a pleasure to work with. Their ads gave us the much needed mid-campaign boost. Oh, they're hitting all. Yeah. Oh, Lance, does that get your nipples hard here in mid-campaign boost? Robert saying that about Freedom 5. I know it does. I can see it through the shirt.
No.
Could
Hey.
cut glass with those things.
But for real, mid-campaign boost, like if you're trying to talk to a company, isn't that what you want to hear, Lance? Like just asking from your perspective.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's
Sound
just,
like
it
jargon
seems
to
like
me.
every single time we've ever used any of those things, it never pans out, right?
Well, I think there are some people that are really good at it.
I'm
and
not
some
gonna
people-
name a company, but there was a company that like promised us the moon.
I will
And
name
the-
a company. Jalop. Jalop sucks. Don't use Jalop.
Really?
So there's a
Wait,
company.
wait. Don't let Jalop design your main page.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
about what they do with everything else, but when you let them design your main page, they pound a square hole into a round egg, wherever the hell that expression is.
Square peg to a round hole.
Yeah, that one.
So there was a company that promised us the moon and the stars, and we signed like a 3-month contract with them for them to promote our stuff and XYZ, right? And so you used all the Bitly links and all these things. This is a company that still exists, and as far as I know, people still use them, right? And after 3 months, we did our analytics and we showed that like, it was like negligible, like at best, as far as and then so we went and they were like, hey, did you want to sign up for another 3 months? And Shane went and said, well, I'll tell you what. He said, you've had 3 months and you've done nothing. So I want you to do it for free for a month. And if you can give me X, Y, or Z, like what you promised me that I'd see after 3 months, he said, I'll pay for a year. I'll pay you for the month and I'll buy another year.
So a
of your
trial
service.
month.
Right.
Yeah, a trial month. And they said, no, thank you.
Because they know the
Which showed how
Hmm.
much
I would
How
be
Faith
much
they have in their
faith?
product.
they had in their thing. It was like you proved to us you do what you said you were going to be able to do, and then we'll give you a year, and we'll sign up for you a year. And then it was like it didn't happen, and they're like, no, thank you. And it was just like, all right, we'll see you later. And yet there's people that still I see them. I see that this company at conventions. And
Does brand
recognition?
recognition help you at all? Like I feel like board game companies don't utilize brand recognition. It's more about the ROI.
Um,
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's a lot of brand recognition.
I mean, you know,
obviously.
there's lots of different types of advertising, but
Oh no, I
brand
mean,
recognition is
the
also
crazy
part of
thing
it.
about all the like
But if
the
you're-
whole yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying if you're basically just counting conversions, that
It's
But I mean,
seeming
I don't
it's what's weird is like it seems like and also if you think you found the thing that works, like it won't work on the next one. You know, you're just like,
oh yeah,
oh,
nothing works.
Well, that's the thing with
in the board game-
Kickstarter. It's such a fucking like the
what gets hot. Yeah.
The algorithm or the formula to do a successful campaign after campaign after campaign is I think there's so many variables you can't
I
even
think
account
the
for.
problem is you can't predict users.
Yeah.
And your users become your sellers, which I really hate about crowdfunding right now. Like I just don't like that.
Yeah.
Like just because you back something doesn't mean you have to promote it. You know what I mean? Like it just makes me frustrated with what has changed the world.
So do you not like social? I shouldn't. Do you like social stretch goals? Is that
No.
something you're talking about? No.
Oh, I don't care about any of the stretch goal. I mean, you know, I'm just saying like it makes people turn into spammers.
I'll say right now, social
Yeah.
stretch goals are the biggest joke of any stretch goal. Yeah, when you go behind the curtain of like, okay, look at the company. We should talk about this. Look at the company that did Project L or whatever that had the Kingdom Come Deliverance. Or whatever.
Ooh, yeah.
So if you aren't aware, the bullet points in the Kingdom Come Deliverance thing.
Yeah, what was the deal with that? I couldn't understand it.
So here's the bullet points. The bullet points were that
We didn't get enough money.
we didn't get enough
Want
money.
more money.
And not even did we not get enough money that we couldn't publish this game. We didn't get enough money, so we're just actually going to close the company.
We weren't even close. We needed $1.5 million, everybody. We just didn't want to tell you.
But,
We did it 1.5
but they didn't want to try
million.
again.
Well, so
They didn't shut it down. I feel like there's some more to that.
It was
story.
such a good game. We're just never going to publish it ever.
yeah, so here's so they're the company that did that Project L.
I don't think you're getting the whole story. Yeah. Go
They
ahead.
did
say again.
Project L, and
Oh,
they,
Project L. Yeah, I like Project L.
Yeah, Project L is a good game. So they did Project L, and Project L did okay. It did okay. I mean, it was like it was. I mean, it was like it was a very good success. You know, it wasn't $1 million campaign, but it was a very good success.
Yeah, it was
If
pretty
you-
successful.
If you dive into how they promoted Project L and what they do with Project L, like they were doing, like, watch the video for it. They bought like a several $1,000 camera rig to be able to like make like this super professional looking video to promote that game. They spent money up the yang trying to, like, you know, to promote it, and then
Yang is a lot of money.
then they got
Yeah.
then they got the game published, and then they ran into all the same problems everybody else did shipping it over. So my guess is, and this is pure conjecture on my part, my guess is that after all was said and done, they were in the hole by a fairly large margin.
A butt ton.
And
Well, they posted a lot in that update. I haven't got to it yet. But
oh yeah, they were very fair about everything, and then they said, and they basically said, yes, we posted a goal that we wanted to hit was X, and that was just so we could say, hey, we reached it, because that metric of funded in 17 minutes, whether there's all these people that are going to say that's the dumbest thing ever. Nobody gives a shit about that. Bullshit. It's
works.
shown. It's shown that if you say like, hey, look,
you want me
everybody
to read
else
it,
got.
Lance? I got it pulled up. You want me to read it?
Well, yeah, go ahead. I read it, but I mean, you can go ahead and read it. Go ahead.
Dear backers, the campaign will be shut down soon. None of you will be charged anything. You don't need to worry. Your money stays with you. It may come as a sudden surprise for many of you, but
So
with a heavy
pause,
heart-
pause on that one. Pause on that one. I love how they said none of you will be charged. Unlike all those other campaigns on Kickstarter and GameFound, where we're gonna cancel the campaign, but we're gonna keep your fucking money. I love how they said
Well, that's the
Yeah,
other
go-go.
system.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean you have to say that for the
Well, aren't-
wackos.
isn't there a system that you get the money? Like I'm pretty sure.
Indiegogo does it.
Yeah, Indiegogo.
Right. Yeah, Indiegogo doesn't.
All right, but
Like,
with a
if you
heavy
cancel,
heart,
the money's gone.
We announced that this update will be the last one. What is this?
Last
Why is this
one.
happening? There's more than just one reason that led to the cancellation of this campaign. First and foremost, we need to acknowledge that even though the funding goal has been met, it does not meet the realistic cost of the project. Bluntly speaking, we did not have the confidence to showcase the real goal of 1.5 million euros, which would be around 10,000 backers. In a crowdfunding world where funded in X minutes is a regular highlight, in the overall mix of other unfortunate events, this leads not only to the cancellation of the project, but also of a company as a whole. This game has proven to be a real step forward in how board games can be perceived, with a full voiceover narrative, adaptive sound design, and a true RPG living and breathing world with AI-driven NPCs. In light of all
The
these
board
grand
game?
innovations, what?
Is it a board game?
Yes, it looks
It's like
cool.
a video game.
In light of all these grand innovations, we failed at properly communicating them via the campaign. The campaign was not. The only tangible thing was the reviews, which frankly surprised us because they were all overly positive and they understood what the game is about. Even people who aren't fans of the app-driven games stated their case. This game is something else, something new on the horizon. However, not everyone has hours to hands to watch content about a specific game. That's why you choose great quotes. Duh. After the first week of the campaign, we realized what the main problematic pillars and fix them right away. Nevertheless, even with these improvements and strong support from the GameFound team, we're not even close to achieving the backer numbers from which we could safely promise to create a game of the quality we think it deserves. Even though this means an end to the studio, the light at the end of the tunnel is still visible. We'll do our best to make this project come alive. Because they're going to do it, because we believe it will be a shame to throw away 3 years of hard work and dedication. It's not just about the game. It's a whole platform that can span into multiple worlds. We believe that apps have a place in the board game community. You will not be charged, yada, 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 yada. So it sounds like they're going to go to Kickstarter.
Is that what it is?
I mean, if I were a betting man, I personally think
You were betting bits of Bellacore Bandits.
I have been talking a lot of trash about
Yeah.
GameFound. I think GameFound is on their way down. As much as I like a lot of things they're doing, I don't think they're going to get the fan base to take over Kickstarter anytime soon.
Making a campaign in
It's not a-
GameFound is a fucking nightmare.
Well, it's just their front page is just it's horse crap. Like it's just
horse
not.
crap.
Well, no, like the back end is even worse. Like they give you a window this tall to make your you can't stretch it either.
That seems like a very set of.
Are you talking about the main image?
Seems like those are easily fixed.
Matt, are
I
you talking
know.
about the main image?
No, I'm talking about when you're creating your campaign, you have all of these sections you can put content in.
Uh-huh.
And the windows, the content window that you can do, like, you can do text, you can add images. As we know, images in crowdfunding campaigns can be quite long.
Yeah, you can have a whole list of components.
Right. So when you add a 4,000 pixel tall image into a 150 pixel tall
you
window,
scroll and you scroll and you scroll, and,
and you
like,
can't get an appreciation for what you're looking at either.
Oh, that
Feels like-
sucks.
It's like you're looking at it through this little fucking. It's
Seems like
horrible.
that would.
Like when you do it on your
Yeah.
phone and you're like, oh, I gotta get oh my god, that sounds terrible.
But is that
Yeah.
throwing the baby out with the bathwater? I mean,
Imagine looking at it on your phone without zoomed, with it zoomed fully in, so your page is like completely as wide as your phone. So you're only seeing a little snippet at a time. It's horrible.
I don't like the main page at all. I think the main page is terrible. It has no rhyme or reason why things are where they are. Some of these things are projects that are past. Some of these things are projects now. Some of these things are upcoming. It's just it just doesn't flow at all. And while it has a lot of fantastic features, like it really does, I don't know. It seems like if you don't, Lance, did you guys offer something to the people who were pre-launchers?
like
A special
that
bell
sign up on our website or whatever.
No, I mean, as because you did last night, right? On GameFound?
Yeah.
Did you guys do anything for the pre-launchers? Did you do anything pre-launch? Like how'd you handle the pre-launch for yours? Because
We did
you
all
didn't
kinds
know.
of stuff. I mean, we had contests, we had we had puzzles, we had we did a ton of things. I mean, a ton of things, and you had a bunch of stuff going on in the Discord. I mean, it was one thing we tried harder on that one that we ever tried on any of our other campaigns ever, and we learned a lot, and I mean, and we learned what worked, and we learned in some cases what really works, and we learned in some cases what doesn't, and yeah.
Well, that's one of the good parts, that you have that, because you can't even do that on Kickstarter, really. Like, it's just the main page, like the sign up page on Kickstarter versus GameFound. It's just, but I don't know. I'm skeptical of GameFound. I just don't see. I don't see it.
I mean,
from the guy who said it's
Now
gonna
that there's
overtake
GameFound, and then
Kickstarter.
there's now
Backer kit.
Backer kids, look at those numbers they're putting up on some of those projects. That's nice. Like, I was looking at that today, and it's like they got that new Matt Leacock one at like 300,000. They got a couple 100,000 of like that. And that also goes against GameFound, because that's just another finger in the pot.
And I'm really glad I didn't go down this path.
Weren't you
Yeah.
considering for half a second about doing it?
I had
Thought
the
you
idea 10
did,
years
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
20 years ago. It was a long time ago. It was an era of I think it was like 04. No,
Why didn't-
I didn't come up with I was not the original idea. GMT is the original idea.
Oh yeah, because they had
P500.
P500,
The
baby.
P500, they still have it.
I was just thinking of a way that it could be done in a more, tech way.
Right.
Because GMT, you don't even really pay, right? You just sign up,
Yeah.
and then they pay. Then you're like,
Here's a bill.
maybe you'll get charged. I forget. I don't know. I've never really done a P500, so I don't know the process.
What's GMT?
GMT.
What is that?
old
Um,
company. Oh, it's a company.
it's a-
It's a war
Gaming
game.
company.
Board game.
I don't know what.
Oh, like
The
The
Greenwich
coin
Mean Time?
series, the
GMT.
coin
They-
series, and all that. They did.
Yeah, they crowdfund. They were the original crowdfunders.
Yeah.
They have the P500.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
The
much.
P500 means it's like when they have
500.
500 people signed up that said, I'm going to buy it. Here's my credit card. As soon as they hit 500, they
They'll do a print
tell
run.
everybody, we're going to charge your accounts soon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
you could be on a P500 for years though.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this 30-day thing.
I did a, and they also, if you're a person at P500s, at like every year, they have if for every game you P500 in that year, they send you a coupon for a massive discount on another game they have in stock. So it's
GMT is a good company. I mean, they've been around they predate all of us, and they'll probably post-date all of us.
You
Yeah.
gotta be
But
good.
I'll say this. I've only P500 one thing ever, and it was the Dominant Species Aquatic game or Marine or whatever. And I talked about that, and I got, as much as I love GMT and I've loved a lot of their games they made, man, oh man, I got crummy customer service because like, even though I'd given them all my information and everything like that, they tried to charge my card and it didn't go through. And then I went to my card and they were like, yeah, we don't even have a attempt on your account. And I was like, all right. So I emailed them and said, yeah. So, cause they said, you only have whatever, you have 7 days to fix this. And I said, okay. And I was like, and then I was like, hey, I checked. They said, you never even attempted it. I don't know. Maybe it's obviously not going through on internet. And they're like, no, it's a problem with your card. And I was just like, it's like, no, we just tried it again and it got declined. And I was just like, all right. So I checked it again, didn't see it, called my card. And I was like, yeah, it's not going through on their end. It's not, it's like, so, and they were like, well, no, it's not a problem with our system. And I was like, okay, well, I worked in credit card banking for 16 years. I probably know more about how this works than you do. And I was trying to explain to him, you're running the card, it's going to your merchant bank. That merchant bank isn't processing it correctly and asking for the money from my account.
You just Ron Swanson them.
Yeah. So I was just like, I was like, so if my bank isn't even being requested for the money, then it can't possibly be on our end. And then they were like, well, we'll get back to you. And then it was like 8 days later, 9 days later, they counted. It's like, oh, we found out what the error was. You still want us to run the card? And I was like, yeah, please go ahead and do it. And they're like, well, the 7-day window's over, so we're gonna have to charge you the full amount, not the P500 amount. And I was just like,
what are you talking about? And they're like, well, I mean, like we can't, and it's just like, I understand why you're upset, but we can't give you a discount because that discounted price doesn't exist in our system anymore. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. I was just like, yeah, this isn't even my fault. No, they're like, we understand. And I was just like, so I was like, let me P500 something else then, and then just transfer the order over. We can't do that. And I finally said, screw it. I was like, fine, just whatever. I'll pay the full amount. I was just like, I just gave him the extra $22. And I was just like, it was stupid. It was
Only
dumb.
you, Lance.
Yeah, it was
You're a
stupid.
magnet, Lance.
And then
You're
I-
a
and
shit
Scott-
magnet.
And Scott, I told you that story, and then you said, well, that just means that Chad Jensen's wife got more money. And I was like, you know what? That's a good attitude to look
Yeah,
at.
that doesn't
So,
suck.
you know, so that doesn't suck at all. So there you go.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, did you hear this famous Asian artist died today?
Famous.
He's walking down the street and he like died. What is his name? Gosh darn it. Oh, he's on my like I bought some of his books. I was really into his art.
What kind of artist?
What is his name?
Loretta
Tentacle
Lynn died
hentai?
yesterday.
What's up?
Loretta Lynn died yesterday.
That is true.
Who is
Let me
Loretta
see if I can
Lynn?
find him. I can't remember.
Really?
his name off the top of my head.
The coal miner's daughter. country
Oh,
singer?
oh,
I
okay.
was born
okay.
a coal miner's daughter. Sissy Spacek played her in that famous movie.
Yeah, I didn't realize she was still alive there, Matt. I thought she died already. Wow. How she
90
must have
years
been up
old.
there. Yeah.
She was 90.
Kim Jong-gi.
I don't think I've heard
He was
of him.
47.
Kim Jong-gi.
Kim Kong. I don't know. Yeah, Kim Jong-ki.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I don't know. What was he
Spooky
an
Kid
artist
knows.
from, Scott? Like,
It's like a comic book.
oh, graphic art.
Japanese guy. Yeah,
Okay,
graphic art.
manga.
I think he's Japanese, or Korean. Yeah, I mean, I just bought his. I bought a couple of his books, like art books. He sold them, but he was pretty famous. Renowned illustrator Kim Jong-gi died Monday in Paris at age 47, super fucking young, after
Yeah.
suffering a heart attack.
That sucks.
According to the statement, he's South Korean. Artist had just completed his final engagement in Europe and was about to board a plane to New York, where he's scheduled to appear at Comic-Con this week. After
Oh, wow.
experiencing chest pains at the airport, Kim was taken for surgery to a nearby hospital where he died. That's fucking horrific.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate that.
Oh,
He's really good. He did Marvel and DC.
Kim
His art is awesome. Like, go Google it.
Yeah,
not to be weird, but friend of the show, Chad Roberts,
Yeah.
texted me out of the blue this morning. He's texted me. He's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I didn't see it at first, right? I was like, because it was like a Facebook message, and I was working. And
Yeah.
He texted me, "Hey, are you okay?" I didn't see it at first, and so there was like, and then I was like, "Hey, Lance, answer this. Are you okay?" And I was like, and then I kind of finally I looked over, my phone was blinking, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I picked it up again. He's like, "Lance, I had a dream last night that you died, and my wife said I should contact you to see if you're okay. Please respond." And I was like, "Hey, Chad, what's up?" He's
That would be
like,
weird if
"Oh."
you weren't.
Yeah,
Oh.
kind of.
He's like, "Oh, thank goodness." He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I appreciate you worrying
Yeah.
about me." I was just like, I was like, "Chad, you got to log in tonight and tell us the story about the dream about where I was dead." And everybody danced on my grave, singing hallelujah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I'd be doing a jig.
It is unless something really weird happens, it is a done daddy deal, that on the weekend of February 18th, Gathering of Vikings will happen in Moorhead, Minnesota. So
What is
you're
gathering?
When is it?
muted there, Forrest. So if you're trying to say something funny, we can't hear you.
When is it?
February 18th.
I just said what whoop whoop because I can probably
I
talk
wasn't
that into
listening.
my
What did you
birthday
just say?
present. Maybe.
February 18th.
I wasn't listening. What did you just say?
Hoping I can turn that. My birthday's in February, so hoping I can talk my wife into making that my birthday present.
Well, I can't. I mean, I will shuttle people from the hotel back and forth. I got a couple of big cars, and I have several local friends. My taekwondo, my kids taekwondo instructor, my son turns 11 on Friday, and I celebrate my 12-year anniversary on Saturday. But anyway, the Gilbertsons, Roy and Teresa Gilbertson, both black belts in taekwondo. They have a wedding event center, and it's used for mostly it's used for weddings, but it's used for other things too. But they have a very, very huge, if you Google romantic moon, like in, here, I gotta get the actual name of
I
it.
feel like I'm gonna get an adult novel.
Romantic Moons Event
Elvis
Center
impersonator
in Glendon, Minnesota. If you Google that, you will see the Romantic Moon Event Center. It's mostly weddings, but they have a huge, it's very Viking themed too, but they have a huge immense auditorium / dinner area, whatever that. And then he's got tons of tables and chairs, and there's like a beer tap and a kitchen and everything we could possibly need or want to do a you just have everybody sit around, and he's like, yeah, I get like 3 winter weddings a year, because he's got like the whole thing is set up in like, he's got a huge chunk of land, and he sets up a big giant thing where he's got a koi pond, and he's got all these buildings that he's constructed, and yeah, he kind of goes all out, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, so like if you go to the thing, you can see the outside. Pinterest worthy weddings is what they call it. But anyway, so get together weekend, play board games, just sit around, have fun. If you come and you stay at there's several hotels that are relatively close to where I live, that I can pick everybody up in the morning and drive them out there, and then we can drive everybody back at night. Take a look at it. Yeah. Gathering of Vikings is going to turn into The Shining real quick.
I was thinking the same thing.
No.
February in Moorhead, Minnesota.
It'll be cold. I'm gonna tell you right now. It'll
Normal
be
people
cold.
don't live up there for that reason.
Only if you have a hedge maze.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be cold, but it'll be fun.
That's what thermal pajamas are for.
There you
Fuck
go.
that,
See?
Forrest. I
Forrest
don't
has
like
got the right
negative
idea.
degrees, okay? In anything.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be fun. And plus I can finally, for anybody who shows up from out of town, I can finally get them a Grand Junction sub, and you can know what a good sandwich tastes like. For the first time in
Jesus.
your life.
If we come early, can we go in the carpool line and see the shit show that inevitably is going to happen, and then we'll hear about?
Oh yeah, I'll take
can
you
you
with.
take us to the school parking lot?
Yeah, I'll take you with. I'll take you with to pick up. I'd be happy to do that. You
We
can
go to the shitty McDonald's too.
The shitty
I'll take you.
McDonald's.
I will take you to the shitty McDonald's, and you will deal with those mother effers. Those people suck.
I was very pleased today. Actually, I went to my local Burger King that normally is just a flaming tire fire. Like I think I've spent 3 trips where I was in the drive-thru for at least 20 to 40 minutes. And today I was like, all right, give it another whirl. Because my son, he had like a dentist appointment. So like it worked out. We got like a special lunch and stuff. And they redeemed themselves. We had a good experience, aside from the fact that they don't celebrate Whopper Wednesday. They're like, we don't do that promotion. I was like,
bitches.
what? Like
What's
what?
Whopper Wednesday?
That's where you get cheap Whoppers on Wednesday. Like it's a big thing. Is they're like only like $2 or $3 on that day, and they're like, no, we don't do that. It's just like, damn it. It's just I
think you made that up.
Oh, Whopper Wednesday is a big deal.
Yeah, we have that here.
I've never heard of it.
I've had Burger King in years. I wouldn't know. Oh, my McDonald's story. I forgot.
Oh, if I have a choice, for burgers, I mean,
Royale with cheese.
no, I'll say this, and then Barry can tell a story. Like, no, actually, everybody think in their head, like it's got to be a chain. It can't be like, well, there's 4 of these burger places in my local town, so that's a chain.
Best
Think
burger,
about-
Five Guys. Moving on. Let's go.
Well, no, because Five Guys isn't fast food. Five Guys is
It
you go
is.
in there. No, it isn't.
QSR. It's not fast food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I mean,
What's
fast food.
QSR?
Fast food. You
Quick
there's-
serve restaurant.
yeah.
Shake Shack. Moving
Oh,
on.
is that what it is?
Well, but Shake Shack isn't nationwide.
Oh, it's not nation. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to think about it. Anyway, your McDonald's story. Go for it, Barry.
So Jen went to McDonald's yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, and she said they had this new adult Happy
Adult
Meal
Happy
thing.
Meals. Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
explaining it comes with a toy. She was explaining to me. I wasn't really paying attention. So she has one. She got the meal and it comes with a grimace, and she set it in the cup holder in the car. So I went out to go to the Wawa in the middle of the night, started up, and I looked over and I just see this purple thing with 4 eyes staring at me. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? So I go on the line. These toys are sold to adults. It's Cactus Farm or something, some kind of art thing. They all have 4 eyes. Like it's Grimace and the Hamburglar and I think Ronald and Ed. There's 4 or 5 of them.
Bernie.
Bernie,
Yeah.
it scared the shit out of me. Just this
I've
little
already gone
purple-
down this rat hole.
Did you? I didn't
Yeah.
hear you.
No, I mean, me and Michelle did it yesterday.
Oh,
We just looked at it. No, we didn't go to McDonald's.
I think
Jen-
my favorite fast
Oh.
food burger is probably Wendy's.
yeah. I'm gonna have to agree with you there.
Wendy's is solid. I'm a Burger King guy though. I mean, it's just like I don't know what it is about the Burger King burger.
Hardee's or Burger King for me.
See,
In-N-Out's pretty good, too.
It's the Wendy's bun that I don't like. It's always like it's always like wet. It's like, if you know what I mean. It's like somehow like it's got this sheen on it, like it's been sweating all day.
If you come to Canada, Harvey's is a fucking awesome burger.
Arby's.
Harvey's.
Harvey's HR
Harvey
or
with a V?
HA.
Like as in
Victor?
Harvey Danger, the band,
Mhm.
It's, I mean, the burger itself is not like the patty itself is not super awesome, but it's they grill it and it's just so good.
Is that flagpole soda?
It is. Harvey
Yeah.
Danger. That was the shit.
Now I'm an
Yeah.
amputee.
Do you guys remember?
Goddamn
I don't know if
it.
you, do you guys remember collegehumor.com?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
So that company did a lip dub to the Harvey Danger song. You remember? You know what
Did
lip
it?
dub is?
Yeah.
Where they do their own music video where they lip sync the song.
Yeah.
That made me so jealous.
Did it?
I was like, when Board Game Geek gets big, I want to have that fucking video. I want to do that kind of stuff.
Was it Flagpole Sitta?
It was Flagpole Sitta. I can't find the video. I mean, the video's out there, but it's like such shitty ass quality. It's like not worth watching. But
that.
dang, I freaking love that video.
I wish Barry was here. I want him to play it. I bet he could.
I
No.
was gonna say Barry is here, but then I remember.
Nah,
in body.
Barry.
Only
A couple more gummy bears, I'm sure, to be able to do it.
I don't think I could pick.
I go
Nah,
so
my fingers
I had
lock up
such-
still.
jealousy for that company. I was like, oh my god, they're so cool.
What you could do
that
is
thing- Facebook fucked them.
Oh, did they?
College Humor went out of business. I think that was the story. Like they put a ton of investment into the Facebook video because Facebook was sort of like overinflating their their views.
Yeah.
And so they doubled, tripled down on Facebook video. And then turns out Facebook was not altogether honest with those views.
Ooh.
Nah, that doesn't sound like Facebook.
But had they,
No.
Facebook being
So-
dishonest? Come on, Scott.
who would have thought
Do you guys know who
from a guy who
This-
basically stole the code?
do you guys know who Mr. Beast is? YouTuber.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
yeah,
a
I've
big
never,
deal.
I've never watched him. I've heard of him.
Yeah.
There's a guy here in
He's awesome.
Ottawa. He's got 6 million subs, and he's like a Mr. Beast kind of person.
He's the Canadian Mr. Beast.
I guess so.
Mr.
Mr.
Beast,
Beaver.
Mr. Beaver.
Mr. Beaver?
Mr.
Oh,
Moose.
Mr.
So, anyways, one of my local Facebook friends. He's a board gamer too. He works for this dude. He builds all of his set stuff and his he also works for, you ever heard of Hacksmith Industries? They do like all these, they recreate like, you know, Iron Man's repulsor or Captain America's shield. So
Wait, I
anyways,
think I've seen the YouTube videos.
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah. So he does work with them too. So he was telling me that like how much money this guy makes off of these videos. And I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in civilization right now that, you know, teachers and other professions that really should be making that kind of dough are not. And somebody making videos about, you know, Hulk smashing through a wall because he could and gets hurt or something. I don't know, some stupid thing, like absolutely fucking, you know,
Yeah, owns.
useless,
Mhm.
is making millions of dollars.
Millions.
It's just, it's sad.
Is there a big like science
Well, I mean, but what's the difference between that and say,
sports
well, sports, or what's the difference between
entertainment
that or you know, like the
concerts?
just
I guess it's
any
entertainment, sure.
any
Yeah.
entertainment thing,
Mhm.
like, you know, you have somebody that, you know, I think the biggest problem that what we're having, what people are, you know, have issues with, like, really is the fact that, like, one, it's something that we wouldn't watch, right? We'd be like, yeah, I don't see why this is at all interesting to me, you know. And the thing is that you kind of get the mentality of like, well, that seems really simple. Well, if it was really simple, then everybody would do it, right?
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure. I mean,
and it's
there's
just like-
definitely a you know, well, I can't believe you know, you have some hate on for the person because they're doing something that seems simple to you and you're not doing it, so you're pissed off that you're not doing it, I guess.
Well, yeah, and that's just
Yeah.
it too. It's like
That's
it's like the old, like, you mean, you remember when you like talked to all your friends and the one person of your friend group had the unmitigated gall to like do something to make themselves more successful than the rest of you, and you were all just like, you son of a bitch. You know, like,
Yeah.
you don't, you, what do you mean you went back to college? You know, just
Yeah.
like,
What the hell's wrong with you?
yeah,
I
what
mean,
the
there
hell-
are certainly YouTubers and stuff that or social media people that I'm you know, entertainment value of the like the bits that these people do aside, sure, I can see an audience for that, but some of these people that are just famous for just being, for not really doing anything on social media, but just kind of collecting
Famous for being famous.
cronies.
We grew up with that, man. Paris Hilton. You know,
Yeah, but she's an heiress though. I mean, like,
yeah.
you know, she had the money to build the infrastructure. It's like these people that are just, I don't know. Anyways,
It's just
enough
how
of that.
things are going these days. It's a gig.
well, in a way, shouldn't we
industry, you
shouldn't
know.
we applaud that though? I mean, like,
Oh, yeah,
because it is, it's a self-made thing,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, it's just kind of like, you know, I mean, they, you know, the weird
I don't
thing
know.
is that, like, there's even, I mean, it's all very, I don't even know what to say. It's all very you know, planned, or like nobody ever like nobody, I mean, it's like, I think a lot of it is like people are very manufactured, like, you know, the whole idea of like how you can go to like websites and like, oh, I want another 10,000 followers for my YouTube. Well, you know, pay this company $110 and they'll give you 10,000 subscribers, you know. And it's just
Yeah.
like, and then they have all these and they have tons of metrics on it where it's like, yeah, well, you know, because we'll spam bot a bunch of fake accounts, we'll subscribe to it, and then they even say like, you know, for 3 months we'll actually, we guarantee that those subscribers will be maintained, right? If YouTube, you know, shuts one down, we'll make another one. And so like, and then, you know, after the, you know, so So you have people that are like, and there's some truth to that, right? If you go out and you like just buy those subscribers, people are more inclined to watch something if it's like, oh well, this person must be great because they've got 100,000 subscribers, they've got 28,000 subscribers, this guy's got 76 subscribers. Well, he might be making the best shit ever, but I mean, I'm not gonna watch that shit, just like because nobody else is watching. It's dumb stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I was talking to a guy. This guy like got somebody said, hey, can I send you this person? They're gonna be sitting on a pledge manager and game pound. Could you just help them out a little bit? And I was like, yeah, sure, because it's a pain in the ass, and I've done it enough times now where I'd like to think I know what I'm doing. And I started talking to him, and he showed me. He's like, yes, this is my campaign. And I was going through his campaign, and he had. And I'm not gonna again. I know I'm the guy name and shame, but I'm not going to say anything because I work in the industry, and I don't think it's my point to say anything about anybody in the industry. If people want to give you money, you should get all the money you want. But they had 3 or 4 paid for videos, and none of them were cheap. Like I know what the people that were that they got videos for. I know what they charge.
Put this in the chat. I'm curious.
And so he spent money. He spent a lot of money. And I was like, holy crap, seriously? You got all these? And he's like, yeah. And he even said, I didn't know what I was doing. I literally I came into this and I had money to burn, and I just threw money at everything trying to make things work, and I was like, huh. And I was looking at his campaigns, and his campaigns did okay, but they didn't do great. And he's like, what did that teach you? And he's like, he said that paying for a Kickstarter video, he said, is worthless, and it's just like, and
Worthless?
Yeah, he's like, it's worthless. It's just like all my analytics. He's like, it's just like
brand recognition is not worthless. That's what people don't understand.
Videos you get.
Yeah.
If you get
if
how
you're
to
all
play
about
video,
conversions, you're
great.
never gonna be able to prove anything. But I mean,
I think a how to play video is the most valuable video on Kickstarter, period.
You need 2 videos. This is my opinion. You need 2 videos on your Kickstarter. You need a 5-minute video that people will watch the entire thing. You need it made well, and you need it made like so it looks professional. And you need a 5-minute video of a person saying, hey, this game's really fun.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
except you can't pay for that.
No, you can't.
I mean,
no, you can't. But you can find somebody. There are so many board game people creating stuff right now that if you send them a prototype and they think it's fun, and you ask them, can you go ahead and put that on there? I'll put it on the website. You're going to get views because it's going to be on this thing that's going to get clicked on, and we'll send you a free copy of the game. They'll be like, I will do that. And then you're just like, and you can get a very quick video that just says, I think this game's awesome. And that's what we've been doing, where it's like inviting those people to play it online on Tabletop Simulator with me. If they think I really like this game, cool, I'm going to get a prototype made. I'm going to send it to you. Please make a video for us. And we'll do those things. The second thing is exactly what Forrest said. You need a video that shows how to play the game.
Yeah.
Just like that's the other thing. Anything else? I mean, at this point, if you are a big name channel and you are doing a Kickstarter video for that game as a big name channel, there aren't any. Everybody's a smart at this point, a smart mark. Everybody knows that everybody's a smart. So it's just like they'll watch that video as confirmation to like, I'm going to spend $120 on this game, but I'm going to watch this video by this highly touted review channel so I can confirm the fact that I want to give $120 for this game. Now that's not nothing. You will retain people if that video is there. I'm not saying that's nothing, but gone are the days of people going to and like the metrics back this up. It like gone are the days of people going to their favorite YouTube creator, clicking on the newest video they've made that's a preview video and then saying, I'm going to go to that Kickstarter page and do it. You get people to stay there and buy it because of the videos you have. You don't, the amount of people you actually bring in outside of people that didn't know that your game existed is negligible. It's exceedingly negligible. And that's just my opinion. I agree. I could very well be wrong. But
you don't find any value in trailers?
No. I think a good trailer, like your minute-long trailer, like when people say your Kickstarter video and they click on it and they can watch it, I definitely think that's something. Because that's something you create and you get to highlight the cool thing that you want to highlight.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's the most important video, period. Like, honestly, I think that.
Honestly, I agree with that. I agree with that as well. And what sucks is that now that I'm on the other side of the coin, and I used to make videos all the time, and I understand making a review and doing everything like that. People should be very open and honest about what they think about the games, and I don't think there's anything wrong with if you think a game sucks, then you should absolutely say the game sucks. And obviously I love videos that say this game's amazing, you should own it. I mean, I love videos like that. And if you're going to say our game sucks, well, that's fine, whatever. I mean, I don't love that video, obviously, but the videos that probably chat my ass the most are the people that are just like like they'll say, oh yeah, I had fun, but I had this problem. Or they'll say, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this game, but then they spend like 6 minutes picking apart one little thing that they didn't like, where it's like, oh, I just didn't like this one little thing.
Oh, I do that. I do that.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna say this one little thing really annoyed me because I didn't like how these cards were green, and I really think that what they should have done was purple. And so like I get done looking at that, and they talk about it for like 3-4 minutes. And it's just like, but I still had fun with the game. Go get it. Nobody's listening to that. Nobody's listening to your 10 seconds of, but the game's good. Go get it. They're gonna remember, oh yeah, you didn't like that little green thing on there.
Like,
it's just
who's doing the most effective videos now for run through? Is it Rada?
I don't know, man. I mean, and again, I don't want to talk poorly about anybody. I think Richard does a great job with his videos, and I love the fact that he's got other people doing videos with him and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, it's just like, but I mean, Richard's the draw to the channel right now, right? I mean, it's just like, so, and you can see that the amount of views compared to Richard's videos compared to the other people that are on this channel,
big difference.
There is a disparity.
He charges more though for himself.
Well,
no, I don't know if that's related to views. I think it's more of his
well,
time.
I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, if you came in there and paid Rado prices and you got one of his underlings, I think you'd be
you get to pick who you're.
Well, there's also certain things that like he just won't do certain games. Just because of theme and
I wouldn't
either.
But Richard's got like Scott was saying, a break. He's been doing this 12, 13, whatever, however many years it is. They come to the channel
and he does
for
an excellent
him.
job. I mean, but
so
I mean,
Rodney
at this point,
and Tom and all the other ones.
I mean, and this is again.
By the way, we have Kickstarter videos for sale too. By the way, just that way. Full disclosure.
Kickstarter.
Full disclosure. But again, I'll say this: it's like. It's one of those things where I don't care who the video creator is, and this includes me when I was still doing it. I can tell you what that video is going to sound like, look like, and be like before I watch 30 seconds of it. I mean, it's just like, and it's just like because and so
you're not the target.
No. Somebody here is.
Are you?
Oh well,
like, do you look at a video and be like,
I don't
want to understand the mechanisms. I really want to understand.
Unless it's covering a game that the company I work for publishes, I don't watch a video.
Yeah, you're not the target.
Well, no, I'm not. But I mean, but I'm not. But here's the thing. Other people feel the same way. It's just like when you go in to watch a 30-minute show, when you sit down to watch the latest episode of, situation comedy show that you watch.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. You
Do you
know what
think in
that
this
show's gonna
world
be.
of funded in 5 minutes, people are watching 20-minute, 30-minute playthroughs to learn
hell
to
no.
decide if they
No,
want to
No,
buy it?
what they're
Yeah.
doing is they're
Huh.
clicking on it and having it run in the background while they scroll through their phone, or they are doing other things on their computer.
I think the selling is made within the first
Day or
impression.
two, yeah.
I don't see how. Well, maybe it'll get different types of people,
I mean, honestly,
but there's
it's
something to that funded in 5 minutes because that is a sales tactic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss out if I don't get in on the first 5 minutes or whatever whatever FOMO that's triggering. Funded in X minutes it's a significant thing.
People want part of the hotness. That's what it is. It's
oh
like
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they want to be part of the cool kids group, right? You know, I mean,
I'm just curious, like, I mean, I'm all for more board games, right? I just wonder, like, at what point, like, where's the ceiling?
oh, the
Like,
ceiling.
how many games can you back in a year? Like,
We've
you
been
know,
we've been
I've got,
hammering on the ceiling for
yeah, no, just, I guess
Years.
we have been.
Uh,
I guess we have been. I
Well,
think it's
there's-
slowed down though. I think it's slowed down.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely has. But it doesn't
Depend-
change the fact that there's tons of people that just own way too. And I've said this, and I'm ranting here as a publisher. I'm glad that people are still buying it, but I would say that everybody in this conversation right here, and that's live with me right now, and I'm going to say most of the people that are going to watch this video and people that aren't ever going to watch this video, you all own way too many board games that you never play. You know, just like I own way too
That's
many board
100% true.
games.
Yeah.
I own way too many RPG books. I own way too many albums. I own, it's just like I own way too many games I've never downloaded on Steam. You know, I mean, it's just we all just consume and consume and consume for the idea that someday we might possibly read it, play it, watch it, and we want that option to be available to us when it comes to.
It's like
And
getting lined up at the trough. Well,
yeah.
what's that?
and-
What's that Seinfeld?
Oh,
It used
yeah.
to be a magical thing, like going to the restaurant or playing a board game. It's a magical thing, and now it's just like
yeah. Now it's
fill
just
up the
like,
trough.
yeah, and that's just it. I mean, it's like look at the. I'll say this: it is, and I've said this before, and I've ranted about this before. It is an absolute rarity for a a designer board game. I'll preface this: a designer board game being published, being created, whether it's Kickstarter or straight to retail, getting out there and it being objectively not good. Like sit down and play. Oh my gosh, there are so many things wrong with this game. Either the look of it, the rules, the process in which you play it. I mean, like everything is average or better.
Yup.
The thing is that it's like it's all so average, and you know, and it's just like, and what one person might just rave incessantly about, like, you know, the newest, you know, whatever, like the newest, like Terraforming Mars-esque game, and but you know, it's just like there's another 50 of it that are just like it, that are exactly like it, with slightly different mechanisms, slightly different art, that play in about the same amount of time, that, you know, that a dwindling return of people are going to play. And I can remember like whatever it was, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, when Scott Nicholson sent out a tweet and he said, maybe it's part of getting older, but I sat down to play Luna today, when like Luna came out from Steffenfeld, and it was like, here's a game. It looked beautiful. It was remarkably elegant, and the rules were good and everything like that. But after I'd been sitting there for a half hour, 40 minutes, I realized this was just another weird, another different puzzle of me pushing a cube and moving a meeple and processing a thing to score points.
Luna, I think Luna was not that great a game.
but it was average. It was resoundingly
Yeah, it
average
was-
or above
yeah.
average. I mean,
There's way better Stefan Feld games. I mean, come on.
well, there is,
That's
but
how I
mean,
feel.
But here's
But,
here's the,
yeah, I mean,
and
there's going
that's-
to be a straw that breaks you,
Yeah.
and that's just it.
but
So here's
not
here's-
everything is bad.
So
average.
you're going and I'm going to say this. Everybody's going to get to that point where they're going to be kind of like, well, 2010 Luna came out. Let's see here. 4,800
I
ratings.
remember
It's the number
specifically.
300 out of all the board games ever that came out. It is the 362nd best strategy board game that's ever
Oh,
been
is it?
made.
It's highly rated. I never played it.
Yeah, 7.3 on the old board game geek
Ooh.
rating
How many
scale.
ratings? How many ratings?
That's just because it's a film.
4,800 ratings.
That's a lot.
That is
nice.
a lot. So, and it's just, but like you said yourself, that game wasn't that great.
Well,
and
I
it's
never
just-
played it.
Oh well, then
I
how
just
do
I
you
remember.
know?
No,
Ah!
How do you know?
I
You
observed.
liar.
I observed,
You observed.
and I saw people playing it at BGGCon, and I basically
He's the one that marks the one on
overheard
BG.
conversations saying exactly what Scott said. Exactly the same thing.
I agree completely.
Like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. Is what basically what they were saying.
Yeah.
I
You know
just
what's
talked
funny?
about it tonight. Like everything is good, but it's like most of the games that come out for most gamers. I said in the video, for most people who are going to watch this video, if you're like deeper in the hobby, this is not good enough. Like you got to be great nowadays because everything's good. Like I get rid of good games pretty much all the time now. It's just like I played the was it the oh shit Goofy movie, the Goofy movie game tonight.
Yeah.
And they did one on the Haunted Mansion too, and they were both like, these are both good games. And I immediately just was like, got rid of them, and I was like, I have no desire to ever play these again because they're not.
Haunted
Great.
Mansion may not be a good game.
It was okay.
It has nostalgia, but I don't know if it's a good game.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. Are you talking about the one where you
It's
moved
okay.
around the board and had the
Yeah.
plastic pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was
It
good.
was
Is that a
alright.
good game? I can't tell.
It was fun. I enjoyed it, but I was like,
I thought it was
It's
alright.
fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
So that sentiment from Scott, I feel the exact same way about all of the Evan, all of the television shows that are out now.
Yeah.
Too
I
much.
get 15-20 minutes in, like, yeah, same shit,
Trough.
different
Back.
dressing.
Fill up the
Yeah.
trough.
This one's purple. This one's about,
Yeah.
you know, what this one's set in Victorian times, whatever it is. It's like, oh,
Do you think it's because we've been in the hobby so
spoiled.
long, we know what a great game is,
yes, 100%.
Oh yeah.
and these newer people just don't have any
Well,
comparison?
it's what's availability.
Yeah.
I guess there's enough people getting in that it sort of sustains it.
Yeah.
You know, because if you see shelfies, it's interesting. Like if you look at someone's shelfie,
Mhm.
that's a weird thing. You can tell
Yeah,
when
for
they got
sure.
into the hobby.
Yeah.
Just look at the type, here's okay, you got in when Zombie Set came out. You know, or that, that's a telltale,
Right.
that kind of thing. So, and I'm sure there'll be another touchstone in another couple of years where we'll be like, oh, that was when they got Rising Sun came out. Well, that's her game, or one of those things. Because everybody bought Rising Sun, right? That
Oh,
was
yeah.
that's a great game, right?
Oh yeah.
Where it was like the next. I remember banning
Blood
people in the BGG group for this fucking. Blood Rage. That's what it was. No, it was Rising Sun.
No, but it
Well,
wasn't.
they couldn't believe that the Rising Sun wasn't just Blood Rage with an Asian
With a
theme.
different theme. Yeah. Some people might have wanted that. I might have wanted
Yeah.
that myself. I don't like Rising Sun.
I enjoy Rising Sun.
Never played it.
I hate fighting.
Yeah.
I played it once and I won. So
I don't
like it
hate
very
fighting. I
much.
just don't like fighting.
I
What'd
don't
you say,
like
I said I played it once and I won, so I like it very much.
Yeah. Super
It
cool.
doesn't happen very often.
It was a super cool game for you. Yeah.
Super
It
cool.
The cool
was. Yeah.
factor was high. If we said the cool factor, if you win a game, the cool factor goes up. If you lose a game, the cool factor goes down.
It was,
Right. This game sucks.
Really?
Well, the cool factor will be way higher for someone who wins their first game.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Because you're
So
only gonna
yeah,
play that
yeah.
game one time anyway, right?
Well, for a co-op game, I think if I win first, it's not worth playing. If I win the first time I play,
it's-
it's not worth playing.
It depends on
That's
the
rare,
difficulty.
man. That's rare.
If you play on easy difficulty, sure. If it is only one difficulty and it's too easy, then it's probably
Yeah.
not good.
There are also games that I've played, I've like done very poorly at, but I fucking love them. Like Ethnos is one of the ones that I
The ones
love
that eat at
playing.
you.
I don't know why
Yeah.
people like Ethnos, but I mean, I understand.
because it's a total chill game.
It is, and
It's-
that's why I
I feel
love
like
it
it's
so much.
kinda
It's my
broken.
perfect it's my perfect wheelhouse. Like I went to a board game local con on Saturday and I played a couple of really fun games. I mean, 1901, New York 1901 is just another one, right? In that perfect little, I don't need to invest too much
Fun.
mentally in this. This is perfect to unwind to. Let's go.
Looks cool. Set up table. Yeah, I like that game a lot.
You know, and it's just, it doesn't require like you don't need to defend your master's thesis to to win the game. It's just, it's nice and chill.
Yeah, I have also completely
Is
and
Ethnos still
totally-
in print?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm
What's
sure.
that, Lance?
I have kind of given up on
Fun.
no no I've kind of given up
Showering?
on playing the heavy
Man, I feel
game.
sorry for Rachel.
I just-
So the heavy gamer, I got my John company today. Cracked it open.
Oh yeah, nice.
Did
I
you
will never ever play.
never
No,
play?
no, and I got a buddy. I got
You
my
won't
I
even
buddy.
know.
set it
I
up.
won't. I won't even. No, it's unfortunate. I won't be.
Looks like a fun game.
It is. It is.
Will
I
somebody in
played
your
the
group,
first
Scott?
edition
I just
one.
don't think my brain is there right now to play it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I hear
requires
you.
too much work for me.
I broke out that.
I'll be putting it in the BGG library for someone other person to enjoy.
I broke out a Labyrinth, the GMT game, the other day, just to set it up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not there yet. This ain't happening today.
Oh no, I mean, like I remember at Gen Con, like they're like, we should play something. And I remember I was like, oh, and my daughter was like, hey, that touring game looks fun. And I was like, yeah, I'll go check that out. And I remember I opened it up, I started reading the rules. I got to
Right away.
I got to page 2. I was like, screw this. I was
Which
like,
game is that?
Touring
Turing.
Machine or
Oh,
whatever?
Turing Machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Turing Machine.
That
I
should
was
be an
like,
app. That game should be an app.
I read like 2 pages of the rules, and I was just like, let's just get that Schrodinger's cat card game again. We all know how to play that.
Oh, like,
Yeah, I want to play that Schrodinger's cat game.
Oh, that's the game so good. I
Cat
love
in the
that game.
box.
mm.
Cat in the box is
I saw a comic.
fantastic.
Is a hospital and there's a guy in the waiting room and it was the vet actually, and then the doctor comes out, Mr. Schrodinger, I have some good news and some bad news for you.
Oh, I have I got a game recommendation for anybody. If you were interested, if you like sim
Scooby-Doo?
game, video game, what'd you say?
Scooby-Doo.
No, we built the zoo.
Scooby-Doo?
Or Let's Build a Zoo is really good.
Let's build this
Is it good?
It is fantastic.
I thought
It
about
is-
buying that game.
It's a fantastic
Is it?
sim, and it also has a great sense of humor. It's got a lot of depth. It's one where you'll probably want to play it more than once because it's got a morality system. I am loving it right now. It
I
is
saw your
Scooby-Doo?
60-second.
Scooby Doo?
Let's Build a Zoo.
You should
on
play your
Xbox Game
60-second
Pass.
review.
Uh-oh, Raggy.
That was
With
pretty
the
entertaining,
zoo in the
actually.
Blue Bayou.
Oh, in like news that, like, I mean, I'm not trying to be super political or whatever like that, but I mean, in news that like for whatever reason people got excited about. Well, I shouldn't say whatever reason. People got excited because they wanted to get excited about it. But they announced that like in the upcoming Scooby-Doo new animated movie, finally they're going to admit that Velma is a lesbian.
So,
And
I
everybody
think there's
was
a
like,
TV show actually. Isn't
Was it ever a
or
question?
whatever. And it was like, and it was just like, and they were like,
yeah, I didn't think.
oh, it was like, and I saw and people had these tweets are like, finally, the thing I knew since the 1970s comes true. It was like, no, they did not have any plan in the
Yeah,
1970s.
This is fairly new.
They're like- So in 52 years, when people are still watching this cartoon, I'm gonna foresee
yeah.
that the world
Yeah, we won't be getting beat up for being gay.
Yeah, so let's put the underpinnings into Velma.
Yeah.
Just
Hey, you never know. Maybe. Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah,
I guess
so
I
am
don't
but you
know,
never know. But-
but I'm going to say no.
Oh, I got a grievance. Jed, we tried to watch that Monsters movie.
Oh God, that looks so bad.
I tried twice and I just couldn't. Jen watched the whole thing. I don't know how, but
So
God,
the
that was
theory is
horrible.
that is just a
Is that a
giant.
straight to video?
That
Yeah.
it is just a giant joke by Rob
Yeah.
Zombie. Like he just did it as a giant joke.
Is it as bad as the
An
trailer?
expensive joke.
Yeah, it is, man. It's,
Oh,
like I
God.
said, I tried twice. I only got a half hour, 40 minutes, maybe. Yeah, I was like, that was hard.
Oh, we usually end up talking about stuff to watch on TV and whatever. If you know, so it's sports related, but which is going to turn some people away. But Netflix, somebody to me, they said, "Are you watching Untold?" And I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking
Very
about."
good series.
And he's like, and he said, "You got to watch the Netflix documentary series Untold, Untold."
Ooh, sports documentary. I'm in.
Each one
I
is
talked
about,
about
is about
this.
each one is about, not to me, you didn't, but
Yeah, I did. I
each
said
was
the girlfriend who wasn't there or who didn't exist.
yeah, the Manti Te'o
Yeah.
thing. So
Totally.
that's one. Each one's an hour, and so there's that one. They do a deep dive into Malice in the Palace, and they talk to Meta World Peace and Steven Jackson and Jermaine O'Neal, and and dive
Very
into
nice.
what exactly happened that night. They dive into there's one about
The Mafia hockey team.
the Mafia hockey team. They do one into Caitlyn Jenner
Yeah.
and talk about her like gold medals that she won. They dive in. I mean, they're all really, really good. I mean, and they don't take a long time to digest. They are
What's it
well
called?
made. Untold, Untold.
It's on Netflix, Matt.
It's on Netflix. It might not be on Canadian Netflix. I don't
Is
know.
it- I was gonna say, is it on
Yeah.
Netflix Canada though?
But
It's like Untold. Like I said, the girlfriend.
you
who
Oh,
don't-
I
doesn't
watched the
exist,
Meta
or-
World. I watched the Malice of the Palace one.
yeah, and that was
one
I
of
just
them.
watched that one tonight. It was really good. I mean, it's you don't have to be a sports fan.
Oh yeah,
to
very
enjoy
good.
it. It is
Good drama.
and it is good. They're really well made and the one about the there's one that's about this
I'll be right back.
female boxer, and she
Yeah,
was like the
yeah.
and she was and then she
She's got a roll deal there.
well yeah, and and also like somebody tried to kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just like, yeah, I mean, it's yeah, crazy stuff. Worth the watch. It is funny in that if everybody doesn't remember Malice in the Palace is when Ron Artest and Steven Jackson went into the crowd and started laying haymakers on
Oh
people.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then there's the scene where when Ron Artest like left the stands and he's on the court and this guy runs up to him on the court
Mhm.
and comes up and he runs up on him with his fists up, and then Ron Artest just hauls off and pow punches him right up right upside the head.
Wow,
And they actually interview that guy that they punched in that thing, and he was just like, yeah, he totally sucker punched me. Kind of a bitch move if you ask me. Like he's still salty about it. Like, all these years later. But yeah,
You guys know Nolan from Deepwater?
I know him. Yes.
He just got engaged.
Oh, good for him. Sucker.
I thought that was going to be interconnected to the story of the
Yeah,
mouse.
I know.
Yeah, he's like,
Thank you for the non sequitur, but yeah.
Would you like another non sequitur? No, I'm just kidding.
What's the opposites of the tales of the grievance? Because I got a positive one. I got a proud dad
A
moment.
celebration.
A boom.
Well, both my kids, I've talked about it before. They've been in flag football. They've enjoyed it. They loved it, but they've been terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
They suck.
And no, I mean, I still love watching it, but they've
That's
never
the
got
best time to enjoy things is when you're bad at it. Seriously.
never got
Yeah.
flag pulls. They've never thrown catches. They've never run the ball. And then this last week, Tuesday, my son had 3 straight flag pulls and an over-the-shoulder catch out of nowhere. He's been in flag football for like, and it's just out of nowhere. He just busted this out, and like he came home, he grabbed his championship belts. He was walking around the house with his NXT championship belts, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, maybe we can practice some defense this weekend." And I was like, "Okay, buddy," but it was just a proud dad moment. It came completely out of nowhere. Like this kid has not done anything. He's been scared of contact on flag football, and just something clicked, and it was beautiful. And I'm one of the coaches. There's like 4 coaches on the team, and I was just like on the sideline, like dancing and jumping. I was like, "Oh my god, he did the thing!" It was like
MVP.
it was great. It was great.
Good
That's
for you,
awesome.
man. Did you go up to him and say, "You're my favorite son"? It's that.
He knows.
Well, no, there's that comic strip, and they use it for lots of things. Where it's like they did it when Stranger Worlds came out. It has like the mom standing next to the one kid and has the other kid, and then the one kid had Star Trek Discovery written underneath, and it's like, yeah, Mom, which one do you love more? And then there's the little other kid is Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and oh, that's a silly question. I love you both equally. Oh, and she walks away, and the mom whispers, "It's you by a lot."
I started watching a new, well, it's not new, but series on Disney or Netflix or something. It's Motherland.
I started to watch that. Yeah.
And then it got all teeny boppery. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like little Pretty Little Liars kind of. I'm like, yeah. It's all about what if the witches during the Salem witch trials, what if they made a negotiated a peace with the Inquisitors, and then they ended up becoming this force in the military.
What?
Yeah.
It's out there, but it just started getting a little too soapy.
Yeah, I find that there's a lot of them teenage soap opera.
Yeah, I got 3 episodes in. I'm like, this is not where I want to be.
I watched the greatest beer run ever on Apple Plus.
That looks good.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that.
That was a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. I want to watch that one too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Can't believe it really happened, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. And I watched
happen in the
I'm sure they dramatized it, but it's based on true events. And then I watched Bear on Hulu.
Oh, dude,
I heard that's really good.
I watched it. Yeah, I was surprised. I watched the whole series. Well, it's only 6 episodes.
Oh.
Is that the one where it's like about the
4 hours?
Kitchen?
Yeah, about the guy working in the kitchen. But yeah, I watched that in one sitting basically.
Yep.
I enjoyed that. And then we watched
What are you eating?
I'm sucking on a Mr. Goodbar.
Oh.
Then we watched
Sorry.
Well, it makes for great radio when you're smacking your lips after
That's all right.
to say.
I'm sucking on Mr. Goodbar. Just at that make me laugh. Sorry.
Everybody's got a
Somebody's
hobby,
got
Matt.
it.
Yeah. And then we watched Blonde about Marilyn Monroe. That was a wee bit too artsy for me. Yeah. It's a long one too.
Wee bit too what for you?
Artsy. It was
Artsy.
Yeah, it was a little too indie film. You know, it's
You watch a lot of TV.
I
can't even imagine watching all the TV you watch.
I haven't moved in 4 days because of the weather. I could barely stand up. So there's not much you can do when you're stuck in a chair.
It's a solid point.
Today.
That's true.
If I could, I would be working.
And what?
On the railroad?
Nah, I don't think
long
I'd be
day.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be a step anymore.
Can you hear the captain shouting?
That's not funny. I had a dream about them the other day. That evil bitch who lived in the train.
Oh my goodness. Oathsworn. Has anybody played Oathsworn?
I have not. I heard I think I heard Albie talking about it on his new podcast though.
I didn't listen to that yet.
I'm almost done with it. I like
Yeah.
it.
Looking at their Kickstarter like pre-launch page, they almost got 13,000 people, and like their image they have is just fucking fantastic. Like they got like the Dice
They do.
Tower Seal of Excellence, the 9.3 Board Game Geek rating, secret box free on day one, giant minis. It's just, whew. There's a science to it. They got it. That looks
Yeah.
damn good. I was looking at GameFound after we were just talking about it, and I realized that the Awakened Realms project has raised more than all the other projects that are currently live combined, and it's not even
Wow.
close. I just thought that was interesting. Like $2.5 million. That is crazy money.
Yeah, I'm always stunned when I see all these, see some of the yeah, like we were talking about that earlier. It's just like nobody has any freaking clue what's going to hit and what isn't going to hit when it comes to this shit. It's just, it's absolutely infuriating in a lot of ways. Just is like, it's just like, yeah.
Well, I think a lot of the fact now is just like, how's the resale value? Like, I feel like that is a big aspect for some of these games. For a lot of people, it's just like, can I turn around and flip this? Do I think I'll be able to? And like with anything Awakened Realms, it's like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's a weird Kickstarter world.
It's a hard knock life.
For
All right,
us.
Eddie.
It is a hard knock life. Yeah, I don't know.
You guys see about Overwatch and just how big of a shit show Overwatch 2
See ya,
is?
nephew.
See you guys.
Later.
Matthew.
Good night.
Night.
I don't play Overwatch. Never had any interest in playing Overwatch.
Yeah, never did.
What's the
So Overwatch 2 was released today. Big deal. Big deal. I mean, it really is. Overwatch is still massively popular. And so I was going to make some YouTube shorts on it. So I got it. And I had literally stared at the same screen for probably about 8 hours over the last 24 hours. And it was like there are 30,000 people in front of you in line. And then you just sit there for like 20 minutes and just slowly the queue goes down. And then when you get ready to get in the game, this big red message pops up. It's like, oh, sorry. And then you just get popped right back in the queue.
What?
And it's like and the people who finally can get in, they're like getting kicked out after a game or two, and then they have to get right
Wow.
back in line. And it is just one of the worst launches like in memory. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say 8 hours. I literally just let the thing run, and I cleaned my house. I did a YouTube short about my Overwatch 2 review, which was just that in the time I sat here looking at this screen, I cleaned everything in my house pretty much. And it's stupid. There are people saying they were there for like 12 hours and they never got into one game. And it's just
Yeah.
like,
I'm
But
sorry.
that's with any.
after-
I mean, that's usually with any launch, though. I mean,
Yeah.
not that bad though. Like that. It's just. But this is a day and a half in. Like, I tried today again. 24 hours later, still nothing. Like, they had betas, they had open. Oh man.
well, yeah, but they never prep their game to be able to handle the server load that's going to hit that opening day.
Well,
'Cause
I'll put it like
'cause-
this. I have been midnight launches. I've been first days for hundreds of games now. And I can't remember one that was this bad. Maybe Fallout 76, maybe not. Like,
Well, that game was garbage anyway.
that was such a disappointment. I just thought it was interesting. Just Blizzard just dropping the ball.
I
So
can't
bad.
believe I saw an ad out of nowhere for Oblivion Online, like a brand new DLC for it or something like that. I was like, people are still playing that? I was just like,
Really?
I don't know of a single person that's
I
playing.
think it's free to play. I think that's why. And the other stuff you just paid for.
Maybe, man. I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't even. I mean, it astounded me that that was still a thing, and I was just kind of like, it's still going though. I don't know. that's to me, that's just crazy. You know, it's never would I have thought that people would want to play online Oblivion. Though I mean, obviously Skyrim, what did Skyrim come out like 10 years ago? And people still play it religiously.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most heavily modded games out there. That, like, as far as like the amount of mods and changes and everything like that. I mean, you know, from like super serious stuff of adding like whole new areas to explore and different ways to beat the game, to like just crazy, let's change all the dragons into Macho Man Randy Savage running around, you know, just like so it's yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Evan, what have you been up to, man?
Just got back from the
Essen?
Vancouver. No, the Vancouver, BC little regional one from Shut Up and Sit Down guys. The Shucks. it's called.
How was that?
That looked like
I had-
fun.
I had a good time. Yeah, I had a good time.
Who was there?
I
Anybody?
flew to a different country to hang out with 5 dudes from the place I live that I had never met before.
That's always fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. Did some pitching, played some, did some play testing, played a bunch of other games.
So what kind of con was it? Evan, like a playtesting con or more of a
It was
media con?
mostly a media con
Yeah.
for those folks, plus like just a big game library people play. There was a small publisher vendor section. You know, I think there was maybe like 20 booths or something.
Uh,
Maybe a few more than that, maybe 30 booths. But the best game I played that I had never even heard of was called Condottieri. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, it's an older game.
con-
Yeah, it was
How
awesome.
do you spell it?
I don't even know.
What was the premise?
Condittiere,
I probably find it from there.
I think. It was like a super simple like area control with like hand management and combat. And it was just like, it was good. It was really solid. I loved it.
It's not ringing a bell.
But
Hmm.
It was good. I was like, man, I might have to get this.
If you can find it.
Well, yeah, who knows? Went to a board game shop where they did not want us there.
They did not want you there.
No.
Were you drunk again? We told you about
No.
this, especially with
We-
other cultures, Evan.
It was 5 of us. We walked in. We were like, hey, you know, I see you guys have tables back there. You like, you know, rent those out so we can sit there and play some games, or? And he was like, yeah, you can book them online. So,
that
all right. So,
nice, very nice.
so don't hang out and buy stuff. Okay, cool, man.
They're sick of your kind.
I guess we'll
It's
go.
been all weekend.
No, this was at the beginning. This was
Oh,
like
was it beginning?
Yeah, it was the day before it started.
Wait, I thought you were in Canada. I thought they were all nice. Well, at least 20% more than
this-
Americans.
not this guy.
Not this
Yeah,
guy.
exactly. He was on the low end of the
He
spectrum.
was on the low end.
This guy was not having any of your bullshit.
None of
was
your
not.
American bullshit. You take your
He
Yankee
was
ass
not.
down south.
I've got a couple of hours of scratching my ass to do, so yeah, I'm gonna need you.
They did not want our business. It was very strange.
The American
So
dollar is
one of my-
worthless now.
One of my favorite stories, and I've told it here before, so I'll give you the abridged version. Was I was working at this restaurant, this Italian restaurant that I worked at that opened at 11 and had a drive-through window, and people would come and get like spaghetti or like a bucket of spaghetti. It was like came in like a little plastic bucket, and you get a little plastic bucket of sauce, and you could have it there. And yeah, if you wanted, you get some meatballs. We just
Yeah.
sold anyway. At 10:45, somebody came through the drive-through, and the thing was going off, and I was the cook, so I was prepping food in the back and getting ready to switch out of my prep clothes into my actually cooking clothes, and so I can make the food. And the person that was working the front, some young kid, I couldn't tell you what his name was, the beep beep, he came up and the guy was like, yeah, hey, I'd like to order some food. And they're like, he said, I'm sorry, we're not open till 11. And he was like, oh, well, I just wanted to buy some spaghetti for my guys at work. And, and he's like, well, I mean, if you want to wait, we'll open in 15 minutes. And he's like, yeah, I'll go somewhere else. Thanks. And the guy who owned the place came out of his office after hearing that. He said, that guy just want to give me money and you told him to go someplace else. And he said, well, we don't open for 15 minutes. He's like, yeah, well, you don't fucking work here anymore. Get the hell out of here.
Oh,
He was just
oh my
like,
God.
and the guy said, what? And he's like, somebody came here and wanted to give me money and you said no thank you. He's like, you can go ahead and get the hell out of here. And I always thought that was like, and ever since then, like that guy taught me, the guy was kind of a dink. And
Well, sure.
But I did remember it was like, if somebody wants to give you money, don't make it
Yeah.
difficult for them to give you the money.
Yeah.
But I remember I
Yeah.
shared that story. I mean, I've shared that story probably 20 times, right? And everybody's like, holy cow, yeah, the guy's right or whatever. And I remember I shared that story with somebody, and admittedly it was a younger guy. He was like 19, 20 years old. And I shared that story with him and he was like, wow, that guy, your boss, he was kind of an asshole. Why set up rules, when your store opens if you're not gonna, and then tell the guy that you're not supposed to abide by them. And I had never had somebody react with that response. And I was just like, and I was gonna like kind of argue with him a little bit, and I was like, yeah, you know what, yeah, I mean, I can see what you're saying. I was just like, no, I can't see what you're saying, just like, I mean, like firing the dude. I mean, obviously he was probably already annoyed with the guy,
Right.
already, like, he didn't like him anyway, so it's like, oh,
Yeah.
well, here's a good reason to get rid of him, but yeah, I was just kind of like, I'd never run into anybody who had ever said, it's like, oh wow, I don't see what that guy did was wrong. And I was just like, oh yeah, you're like 30 years younger than me, so
It's a different generation for sure.
it is. It's a generational thing, and it's either good nor bad depending upon
Yeah.
whatever side you're on.
I mean, obviously that guy was, not a pleasant dude, but
Douche, but yeah.
No, he was a total douche, and
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, Dan Sterlingson. I was trying to pull his name. Into my mind somehow, and I finally did. Dan Sterlingson.
he's gonna hear this.
I doubt it.
He's gonna find you.
I
He's gonna
doubt it.
fire you.
He ran his restaurant right into the goddamn ground, and
Oh,
then he went
nice.
to go sell real estate.
Mhm.
Fair.
So, and I have no
You always
idea.
need a salesman, real estate.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still doing that or not, but
Goes to show. Being a dick doesn't pay
well, I mean, sometimes maybe.
unless you like
Does
start
to
with
an
money.
extent.
If you start with money, then being a dick is really good.
Well, yeah. I
Then
mean,
you don't know any better, so you're not really being a dick, are you? If you don't know you're a dick, are you being a dick?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure most people, if they're being a jerk, they know they're being a jerk. It isn't like they're all of a sudden like, oh wait,
You're assuming people who grew up like I'm saying. If you grew up with everybody kissing your ass and yes, man, do you know you're being a dick?
Maybe not, but I think it's I think you run into a situation where you have where you just kind of you see other people being nice to people, and it isn't like you're like, that's weird, what's going on over there, just like
Yeah.
what,
Jeez,
what-
I never heard of that
what-
before.
what, you hold the door for people, what, I mean, maybe people could like get into a point where they feel like they're above it or something, or like
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of where it's getting at. We
But,
were watching something on Tom Cruise, which a little dark there. But I was thinking, he's in that world where everybody's yes to him and he's the next big thing, and and to an extent he is. Every time he makes a movie, he draws in millions and millions of dollars.
not always the case. He's definitely made some
That's true.
punches,
That's true. But I mean, in recent years. So do you really know you're being a dick?
You just give me risky business, baby. That's what I want to watch. So I rewatched that the other day. That is still a good movie.
Is it still good?
It is still good. It is genuinely funny and in several moments. You know, for a little offhand, you know, which one of you is the U-boat commander when he's asking about it with the Porsche? Yeah, it's like, you know, and his dream about, you know, Joel, get off the babysitter. Joel, think of your future. Just
It's been too long since I've seen that.
oh, and he's so young. He's so exceedingly young. It's crazy.
Joe was watching the Addams Family, and that train scene came up with Gomez when he found out he thinks Fester's a fake, and right away I thought of Anthony with the toy trains.
Oh yeah, well, that's what he's doing now. So I mean,
That actually held up pretty good. The that movie, yeah,
it did.
it's somewhat, you know, yeah. It wasn't too dated with the punchlines and all that to begin with, you know, a little bit, but
They made a hell of a good pinball game out of it. So I'll give them that. You know, the Addams Family pinball game is easily
It is pretty good.
It is top notch, my friend. Top notch. You know, I even have the digital version of it.
Is there a digital version?
Oh yeah. And I'm way better in the digital version than I am
I'm
in the real
sure.
one. Also, I'm kind of sad because my favorite like the Fargo Moorhead pinball club, which I was a member of, which I paid them damn good money, and I've told the story before, it's been years, but I mean I still have my passcode. They was basically there was a place you paid a monthly due, and you would they had events all the time, and you still had to pay for the pinball, but they set it up so it was like you got like 2 credits for a quarter, so it was cheap. It wasn't like they were gouging you.
Yeah.
And because they had to, if it was for free, because pinball, since it's a bunch of physical things, you damage it, you know, because it's just like there's certain things. I remember I talked to I remember I go there, and the guy who owned all the pinball machines, he just taught you. I kind of almost thought that he, like the Fargo Pinball Club, he started it so he'd have people to talk to, you know, just like because he was just always, and then but he was cool, man. I would go there with my kids, and like he'd go over and he'd say, which one do you want to play? And they'd point to it, and he'd go over and he'd open it up and he'd hit the button and give him like 10 credits and close it. And then he'd come over and talk to me. You know what I mean? He was super nice. But he would sit there but you had a key. You had a plastic key code. And now I'm getting kind of nostalgic and sad because COVID killed it, right? You know, because he couldn't. He wasn't allowed to be open, and so he couldn't but I remember we would go to the Fargo pinball club, and it was like this, it was an office building in the middle of nowhere that had like a bunch of weird offices, but there was outside there was a single sign that said Fargo Pinball Club. That's all it said. And there was a door that you had to have a key. You had to have a key code thing to open up the door. And then you'd walk in, you walk down a hallway, you took a left, and then you walked, and there was another door and there was nothing. It was just a door that had nothing on it, nothing. And you went over and you hit the key code. And as soon as you hit the key code, it would open up, and then you hear that. You could hear all the pinball machines going, and like it was just great noise. And you'd walk in, and there was like 30 pinball machines in there, and a few arcade games and stuff like that. And I remember, man, I would take my kids there after school sometimes, or there were definitely times when it was like after I dropped out the kids off at school, and I would just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the Fargo Pinball Club for an hour and just chill and just play pinball for an hour and just relax. And I mean, there were so many times where I'd forget and I'd leave my sweatshirt there, and I'd come back the next day and it would still be there. There was all these little hangers and stuff like that, and it was just like nobody ever stole anything. Everybody was good. And that guy, man, he knew everything about pinball, and he would just sit there and talk to me about all the maintenance that he did on them, and he'd open them up and he'd show me how they worked and stuff like that. Like he said, he was watching me play Adam's Family one day, and then he was like, "Holy cow, did you see that?" And I was like, "No," and he's like, "Yeah, that ball is magnetized." And I was just like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, it's like," and I was like, "How does that happen?" He's like, "Well, it's the metal, so all the electricity inside the machine eventually they'll magnetize the metal."
Okay.
And so he's like, and then he said when the game's over, he went and he like showed me how he took them out and he was showing him, yeah, these are magnetized. And so then there's actually a thing, and he opened up his maintenance room where he like basically you rolled it into this thing and it demagnetized them. And he's like, and then he just didn't put them back in. And
Interesting.
oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Now I'm sad because that was like one of my favorite things to do with my kids. And like my dad just recently moved actually, but my dad lived real close, and we'd call him up and we'd say, "Hey, we're going to the pinball club," and he'd meet us out there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we'd sit there and play pinball and be, I'll be right back. My wife's going to bed. She has to talk to me outside.
Does she really want it? I was thinking about one of my uncles died last week, and I was thinking of my grandfather. He was a member of the Catholic War, but he was actually the commander there. But it was like a club for him. It was just he'd eat dinner and disappear, just to get it. He had 6 kids at one time, the grandchildren in there, But it's just, are there still places around like that? Like not necessarily Catholic War vet related, but I mean like where the old timers just go to hang. Yeah,
Probably.
all they did was play pinochle. Yeah. Was that?
Is it like the VFW?
Yeah, it was sort of like that. It was a little different. It's you had to be a Catholic war vet in order to. Yeah.
Very specific.
Yeah. Or no, actually, you didn't have to be a war vet. You had to be a vet, though.
Like a
One of
veteran.
my uncles signed up. That's what happened to it. It's Vietnam, basically. People got disfranchised with the military.
Yeah.
The next generation never bothered to keep up with it, so it died with them guys. Whereas I think the VFW and what's that other one, the Moose Lounge or whatever, whatever they are, I think they have more current.
Oh yeah, the BPOE.
Yeah, I forget them all.
Those Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elk.
Yeah, they're basically just drinking clubs. Yeah, like I used to be even more involved with like the VA hospital up there in Philly and all that, but there was a series of events where it was mentally too tough. I sat with a couple guys as they died with the program, and there was other things. I had a really bad derailment. A couple people very close to me died. My sister was shot. It all happened within 5-6 years. And I'm trying to get back up there, play board games with them, up here in Delaware. But I actually got to check since COVID's over now, supposedly. That was the big holdup, but the federally it wasn't, so you couldn't get in there to volunteer. But I was thinking about that. Do I really mentally want to get back to this? Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see what.
We'll see.
He goes back to the Elks Club.
Yes.
The Elks Club.
Or the AOH.
It's like the Moose Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was you can get a 16-ounce old style for $2.50. I remember I'd go watch weird bad punk bands at the Moose Lodge.
The Moose Lodge.
It was quite the fun. Quite the entertaining. Drinking old style.
Stale beer.
It's not that. It wasn't
stale draft beer smell over the place. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I've only been in a couple. Yeah, one in Jersey. And I think one in Virginia. Yeah, was it the moose or the elk? I don't remember which animal.
I just always thought it was interesting that it was like the Moose Lodge or whatever. But like whenever you went there, like there was always like somebody trying to see if they're trying to get you to be a member or whatever. And for that matter, my high school reunion was at the local Shriners thing. And then I was sitting there and and there was a guy there that I happened to know. And I was like, oh, hey, it's like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm a member. And I was like, oh, I had no idea that like this was still a thing. He's like, oh, well, do you want to join? And I was like, no, not at all. Actually, I have no interest in joining some weird Masonic league where it's just like, what do you even do?
I had somebody come up to me.
They raise a lot of funds for children's hospitals.
Yeah.
They do that, and I think that's very
That's all I
admirable.
know.
Oh, you said doo doo.
But
Actually-
I have no interest in learning how to drive those little cars or wear a fez. So, and it is still a strangely outdated patriarchal society. I was looking at all these
Yeah.
pictures of everything, and all these pictures of the members show like
Yeah.
his most honorable brother William Jensen,
Yeah.
and then like behind him and sitting behind the chair throne was like his wife, like sitting like one step back and two steps to the left, and like with her hand on his shoulder or something like that. And I was just kind of like, yeah, that's just creepy and weird. And I'm just,
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
sort
me and
of-
Evan were just talking how my grandfather was a Catholic warfare. The next generation died out, so it died out. But I remember one of my uncles married an Italian woman and somehow got involved with the Knights of Columbus. And he came to me as like, do you want to join? And I'm like, I'm not Catholic anymore and I'm not Italian. So how does this work? He's like, you just pay your dues. It's a drinking club. That's all it is. It's, but I guess, like you belong to a board game cafe that has dues or something like that. It's the same thing. It's just, socializing.
Yeah. But hopefully with all members able to participate fully.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
absolutely nothing wrong with being a part of something or like it's just like any other club, right?
Yeah,
I just,
yeah.
and I'm not here to try to like trash on the Shriners or anything. I just, I just, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I might not be, signing up. I mean, I don't have enough time to do the things I actually want to do. And you're trying to get me to like, so I can go fly kites with you or something at some point. Yeah, no.
Why not?
Thanks, but no thanks.
No, I can see being in the union. I noticed that there's a lot of guys hang out at the union hall. There's usually a bar somewhere, by the union hall. So I guess
Now,
it's
if it was the Flintstones Society, the Royal Order of the Buffalo or the Water Buffalo or whatever. Yeah, I joined that in a heartbeat. That's because it's the Water Buffalo.
And there's dinosaurs.
And there's dinosaurs. Yes, you get a free dinosaur if you're part of that.
I wanted to join the Masons because I wanted all their sweet secret knowledge. And it turns out they don't just hand that out to anybody.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
Do you think
Did
they actually
everybody would
have
join.
any crazy super secret knowledge? I don't think.
I mean,
I think it's just a sex orgy.
have you ever seen National Treasure? So I'm just saying.
Great movie.
I hate that movie so much.
Really?
You would.
What about number two?
I hate them both. I just think they're both just absolutely goddamn ridiculous. It just,
I love it.
I was surprised they
Based
never
on a
made a
true
third
story,
one.
man.
no, it isn't. No, it isn't.
It is.
Just like the
No,
Da
it
Vinci
isn't.
Code.
It is not. I don't know who sold you that bill of goods, but they were a goddamn liar. No fucking thanks.
Come on.
No, it's not a thing, and it never will be a thing.
Well, we've established that you don't like fun.
Yeah,
fine.
you're unpleasant to play with.
Those movies are just an adrenaline shot of fun.
I love them.
Yeah, they're popcorn movies. Beer
Yeah.
and pretzel.
I
movies.
love them.
No.
Just
They're
no.
garbage, and you know they're garbage.
And I like pretty much anything with Nick Cage. I'll watch it.
Yeah, to an extent.
I mean,
you can only go so far with Nick. I mean,
Oh,
who
Nick
knows
goes
though?
all
He
the
could
way.
come back again. You never know. He's done it twice now, right? 3 times. He's done it a couple times.
it's one of those things where admittedly, I probably was having one of those things where I was like, oh, come on, why do those torches still work? They've been in there, they've been underground for years. How does that even work yet?
Yeah, there is.
I
some
was
of that.
probably like putting too much reality into my
Yeah.
make believe, just the fact that we're gonna steal the Declaration of Independence and just
Mhm.
it just drives me
Yeah,
absolutely
but there's a
bonkers.
map on the back
I got that, yeah. So
to the treasure.
Yes, invisible ink from Washington Spies or something. That was a pretty good series turn.
it was
I'll
garbage.
watch it again. I'll watch it
We
again.
all know it was garbage.
Can't wait to watch it with my kids.
Okay, wait. I was watching an interview and there was a theory about making 3 movies kills the first one. The third movie kills the first one.
No, it doesn't.
They were
Godfather 3 did not kill Godfather 1. Return of the Jedi
Yeah.
didn't kill Star Wars. I think this is
That's
a
2
garbage idea.
examples.
What's
Clearly,
what's an example of one
Clearly.
that destroyed it? Last Crusade did not destroy Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I would say Hobbit going from
yeah
2 movies to 3 did it.
Return of the King didn't destroy the Fellowship.
That's because there was a huge now, like, I get what Barry's saying, but I can't. All I can think of is Hobbit. That did not need to be 3 movies. I think that destroyed.
they were
The
talking.
Hobbit wasn't a good movie to begin with.
That's because they added a bunch of extra stuff that
You
didn't need to
can't
be there because they
destroy
made it in 3
you
movies.
can't destroy what is already shit. I mean, it just doesn't
Got a
work.
point. Yeah, but
No, I want to know. I don't know. What's the thing that that has a third movie that
there are
destroyed-
examples where let me see. One was the Hangover. What was
Yeah.
the other one?
Third one wasn't great.
Give me a minute. Let me think.
I
of the other.
never even saw the third one. I didn't see the second one for that matter either. But it's
No.
all, but how does it destroy it, right? I mean, like you can still watch the first Hangover when you enjoy it.
Oh, it's so goddamn good. It is so rewatchable.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
I mean that's just it. I don't understand what it's destroying. I mean, it isn't like
It's the Hobbit, man. The Hobbit.
It's the Hobbit.
But you can't destroy something that's already done. You know what? Never mind.
I will actually say there's a really amazing
Last Jedi.
series.
Oh wait, that
about
was
The
2.
Hobbit, exploring exactly what is wrong with that movie. It is fantastic.
Yeah, I seen parts of it.
Which one? The 1979?
No,
That
the-
one
Not a
that
new
one was
one.
perfect.
Yeah,
What-
Lindsay Ellis did a 3-part thing where she went to New Zealand and like dug into it.
What was the guy who did Lord of the Rings, the director and all that? What was
Peter Jackson.
Jackson?
Jackson.
He wasn't originally going to direct the Hobbit. It was, I think, it was Gil Tormo, wasn't
Yep, that was it.
Guillermo
Del Toro.
it? And then
Oh yeah.
he got stuck with it with like
That would've
4
been
months to
interesting.
get the production or something. So it was just a rush job from the get go. Yeah.
Yeah, Del Toro was like all about it, and like he did everything, and then just like no, they pulled the rug on him. But
What
it like
happened?
it went deep, like it, and then like there was like a whole thing with like the actors studio and the entire country like shoved a law through to pretty much make it so they got the movie, but then it screwed over all the actors, and it still has. Like it's like
Yeah.
a whole huge deal. It's really interesting.
What happened with Guillermo del Toro?
He
I
got
bel-
shoved out the door by the publishers, by the makers of it, because I guess there's like 3 or 4 different companies with their hands in the pot.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. There was the Tolkien estate, and then there was
Interesting.
Weta, whatever.
There's a couple movie companies.
Yeah. And a couple of production companies.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then I think it was a times thing that Gil Tormo too. He didn't want to commit. He already commit this much time, and I think the company
Well,
went bankrupt or was in the process. There was financial issues, and he wasn't going to commit to something that he wasn't going to get paid for. You know.
It's a really interesting one.
Yeah.
But she breaks down exactly like all the extra things that were added, and then she goes into why they were added, like this plot. You know, it's fascinating. She does like it's an hour and a half breaking down the 3 movies and why they're fucking terrible, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well worth your time.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need to watch that.
People love to watch things that say
I
things
do not
suck.
need to watch that.
That's that thing that you worked on. Yeah, let's watch that thing that shows that you and all that effort that you went through just is, you know, fucking garbage, and you should feel bad, and you should hate yourself that you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What did you show any games off or anything, or when you went to your little
Me?
shucks thing, or
Yeah.
Your little shucks, Evan. Your little shucks.
Your
I mean,
little
it is
shucks.
my convention. Yeah, no, I have a midweight Euro game that I was doing some playtesting and pitched to a couple of publishers, and I have some follow-ups to do with that. So that was exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, and then a couple other pitches went pretty decent. Yeah, it was good.
Well,
I
that's
don't want to
good.
give you I don't want to give you too much info because I could talk about my own games for like the entire show. So
And we still have no idea how to play
exactly.
them.
Yeah, have somebody else demo them for you, so
Yeah, exactly.
they can be sold.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So what would you say was the highlight of Shucks?
For me, the highlight was probably hanging out with the 5 dudes from Portland that I had never met before, as well as rooming with my my designer buddies, one of whom I had never actually met before. We'd just been like online playtesting each other's games for like, you
Oh,
know,
that's cool.
2 years or whatever, 1.5 years, and I had never actually met him. So that was really cool. Hanging out with people. That's always my favorite thing.
people are the worst.
I mean, that's
They
also
are.
true.
Them sons of bitches.
But they're also the best, Lance.
No, they're not. Them sons of bitches.
Those sons of
I'm
bitches.
kidding.
Every last one of them.
Every last one.
Every
Of them.
last
Like if you had
Myself
to,
included.
so if the question was, what am I most looking forward to at BGG Con? It would be hanging out with Lance and Aldi.
What are you really looking forward to?
Kiss ass.
That's it.
Oh, sure.
know?
Scott's looking forward to it too.
Hanging
Lance
out with
just
my
needs a
buddies,
hand at the
man.
booth. That's all he cares about.
I love it.
Mhm.
You know, playing games is awesome. But hanging out with, yeah,
Well, it can be awesome. I'll give you that.
can be awesome. That's true.
There's lots of times where it's not, though.
That happens.
Really
too.
depends on the game.
That happens too.
Trying to remember. It's weird. Both like Shane's in Germany with
Oh, he did go. Okay.
yeah, he's there with Josh.
I thought it was just going to be Josh.
Did he take the wife or just him?
It was just him.
Yeah.
He went there to work and what have you.
Yeah.
Um
I'm going to go next year.
I might see you there. I'm hoping to go with my wife.
Really? Oh, nice.
weren't you gonna go during COVID?
Cheap
Wow.
flights.
Yeah, I was. I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that.
Apparently, it wasn't that high on his priority list.
Cheap
Dude.
flights.
My wife does that all the time. She just did it again. She like brought up something this last week that I did, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't remember this at all." But yeah, I trust you.
You gotta start writing shit down before.
Getting old.
Yeah.
Memory wise,
It's all that weed, man.
Weed has nothing to do with it.
It could be.
That's
I've
short term shit. That's not long.
I've got an awful memory, and I don't really smoke, so not just that. Ooh, guess what else I got from Shucks? 2 games that I had never heard of before. Are they any good?
What's this?
What are they? Oh wait, I don't have the picture.
Knoxford.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
All right.
I've heard it tusked.
Never
I
heard
don't
of
remember if it was any good though.
I don't know. I haven't played it yet. But it was free.
Score.
Yeah.
Jeff Van.
Hey, how's your fancy god game going, Lance?
Good. I mean, it's one of those things where we're gonna sign it, I'm sure, and then
Yeah.
we're going to probably give it to the designer and say we really like it, but you need to shave an hour off the time because you
Right.
I mean, well, no, I mean it's a half hour per player, right?
Right.
I mean, and that's if everybody knows how to play the game really well. So
Well, that's reasonable for midweight Euro.
yeah,
what kind of
this
game
is
is it?
I mean, this is I mean, I don't know. I mean, the thing is that nobody wants to play a 2-hour game. You know, I mean, it's just like, I mean, there's and most games are played with 4 players, right? I mean, 4
Mhm.
player is that button. And if you have to teach that game to somebody, it takes a half hour to teach it. I know
Yeah.
because I've taught it 20 times. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just like, yeah, so I mean, and inevitably, you know, and with a half hour teach, people forget.
Yup.
Yeah.
You know, because like nobody can pay attention to anything for a half hour. I mean,
No.
I don't know. I'll get to a certain point in the explanation, and I'll say, I'm going to repeat this 3 times because this is exceedingly important that you remember this.
You didn't
Whatever.
mention that. You didn't mention that. What are you talking about with that
Yeah,
rule?
no, and I'll say like, and for this one, it's that it's like because I mean, obviously when we publish it, we'll monkey with the terminologies, but right now
Sure.
we have to use the terminologies that exist, and so like because your victory points in the game are followers are
Okay.
just victory points. That's all they
Okay.
are. It's just
Okay.
so when you see something gain 2 followers, that means you gain 2 victory points. It's because
Yeah.
like those are indicative of how many followers you as a god have, right?
Sure.
So disciples are these meeples that you take that are worth points at the end of the game. So like and those are, you know, those are your like most devout people.
Yeah.
And then like, and you level them up. Like they
Right.
start off as acolytes and then they go to become monks. And then they become speakers, which is a horrible name in my opinion. They should just be called priests. Just call
Yeah.
them priests, you know, just
Yeah.
like, cause you know what I mean? Because that acolytes, monks, priests, but no, he called them speakers, you know, but
Yeah.
whatever, it doesn't matter. So, and so acolytes become, or disciples, which have level 1, 2, and 3, which you should also just say level 1, 2, and 3. They're worth a bunch of points at the end of the game. Also, they are an expendable resource depending upon certain actions.
Sounds good.
And there are 5 different colors, and the color of the disciple will sometimes determine what, if you use them as a spendable resource, what they give you. There's all kinds of things like that. There's a lot of
Sounds
stuff. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going on.
Yeah.
But what happens is, and I repeat this, I was like, followers are victory points.
Yeah.
And I was like, when you get a follower, just move your disc
Right.
around the ubiquitous score chain that's around the board.
Disciples
Are meeples that you take from here
right.
and you put on your player board.
Yeah.
And I was
there's some
like, so
terminology
and I'm
changes
like,
that need to
let's
happen.
go ahead and say that again. When it says gain followers, just gain points. When it says gain an active disciple, gain these meeples over here.
Right. Yeah.
And
Just
one
change it
more
to,
time,
change it
let's
to
just
influence or whatever.
and
Yeah.
let's go ahead with one more time. I say if it says followers, gain victory points.
What's a
If it
follower?
says gain a disciple,
You're
you
going too
gain a
quick.
meeple.
That's a meeple.
And then it's like, okay, so moving on to like, how do you gain more disciples? And I would like go through the thing, and like, here you are, 20 minutes into the game. This one says I gained 3 followers, so I take 3. Can I take any color of these meeples?
No, were you listening?
No, and there's usually one person at the table who remembers. No, he said it 3 times. You know,
Yep.
it's
As
like-
long as you got that one person, you're good.
Yeah.
As long as
Yeah.
one person remembers it.
With you did your job. It only takes one.
I hate that in the rules. I'm going to emphasize this because I read the rules and this is important. And just like, you didn't say that. God damn it.
Oh, I
You
see.
son of a bitch. Why are you lying? Well, is it better to do that or get halfway through a game and they go, oh, wait, we forgot this rule. And I'm going to show you how it works right now and destroy you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Teaching games is hard. I mean, learning games is tough.
That's
Especially-
why how to play videos are so beloved.
Yes.
It's really tough when
When they're
people
done
don't
right.
listen. When they don't listen to you, and then they ask you the same questions that you just
That's because I think everybody's got adult ADD now. We can't
Well, no,
stay away from
I
their
mean,
phones for 5 seconds.
Or recently, I had a situation where I had a thing where like the guy said, oh, hey, it's like I'm super sorry, and I was like, oh, what are you super sorry about? And he was just like, yeah, I forgot they were gonna play testing, and I just got completely blasted on weed right before this started. I was just like, well, maybe we should reschedule. No, just give me some time. It should be okay. And I was just like, that turned a 2-hour play test into 3.5 hours. And I was just like,
Yeah, you gotta know what games you're playing when you're high. You can't,
Yeah, you can't just play
you can't
anything.
be just like busting out of step on felt. Like anything over medium weight, I'm like,
Right.
nope.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
Apparently,
I
he
know it.
doesn't know how to use his drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What a,
fucking
what a
rookies.
noob.
What a
Giving the rest of
noob.
us a bad name.
Yeah. You don't need an edible and then play a game. Because halfway through that game, something's going to kick in.
That's why the best games to play on edibles, undoubtedly, social deduction. It just
Yeah,
amps up
yeah.
everything. Give me simple rules. Give me vanilla werewolf with fancy rolls, and I will be so into that shit. I will just like, don't throw me out, guys. I'm just having so much fun, please. Like, oh god. But you gotta have a certain game for that. You gotta have a certain game.
Yeah. That's actually the
well,
reason
God
I-
King is not a game that you do.
Don King?
Don
God
King.
King.
Oh, yeah, it
Oh.
doesn't sound like it.
It could be other things than weed, though. Liz. I mean, people just have a hard time absorbing certain rules, especially if they're not familiar with it. They got to see it or at least go through it a couple of times, People's minds aren't there. That's why I stopped playing with the Cabal
slow
guys.
to
I just
learn.
knew my mind wasn't there, and I was just holding people back. We're fucking up their experience.
Yeah, I'm slow to learn.
That's nice of you to acknowledge that, because I've played with some people like that, and it's like you don't want to be mean, but it's like you're dragging everybody else's experience down. The only person I've ever kicked out of my game night ever in like 10 plus years of hosting it was like that. And it was like the kind of thing where I like talked to everybody else in the game night. It was like 7 people at that point, and everyone was like, yeah, I would 100% be okay if you just stopped inviting her.
Yeah.
And it was just because like we'd be 2 hours into a 2.5 hour game,
Yeah.
and she's like, what do you think I should do this turn? I was like, bitch, don't ask me that. What are you doing? I don't want to tell you, because you doing that is going to directly intercede with my plan. It's just, she would fall asleep during the rules. And it's like, I understand you're tired, but it's like, no, because I
Yeah.
know what's going to happen in an hour and a half. Like, it's just, oh, good riddance. Good riddance.
Yeah.
But good on you to notice that, like, because it's,
Oh, I remember we were at it was Origins, and I was playing with Don and a couple guys from the Cabal. and we were playing that new Stronghold game about the moon. It was like the thing set in space.
Terraforming Mars.
No,
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, not good, not a good game though.
yeah, it wasn't a great game, but we were playing it. And it was a simple rule with the dice. One die was one color meant this, one die was another color with this, and it just kept getting fucked up in my head. And I blew the game for him, and I was like, that's it, I'm done. It's like, I apologize. It was Andrew and a couple other guys. Like, I'm sorry. It's just my mind isn't there. And it wasn't the weed lands. That point, it was probably the morphine. But yeah. It's actually that was Oxycontin territory.
Sorry, guys, I'm a little high right now. You smoke? No, it's Oxycontin and morphine.
No,
Yeah.
people who don't
He's doing it
don't
right.
take the drugs don't realize it. It's not like that. It just eliminates pain once you get used to it. But there are certain like memory things and your movement slows down and shit like that.
Yeah.
From long term I've been on the fucking opioids for 10 years. So there's damage done, I'm sure. But yeah, that game, I just remember I was like, yeah, I'm out. It's I went up a couple other times, but that was always in the back of my mind. But like I said, being there was just one couple who came. It happened twice. Get halfway through a game, like, oh, we got to go to work. And what the fuck? Yeah. So again, there's people who don't even care. Yeah. It's tough to find a good game group, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, like I got invited to play, go play D&D with a group that, like a guy I know, and and it's just like, and I went and I played, and it was fine, but I could definitely like have this feeling of like, yeah, this isn't like, it was one of those things where I was sitting there and I was just like, yeah, this isn't my group, right? It's
Yeah.
just like, it's just not the same, and it's just like, there's certain comfort levels and things like that, and when how well who it is and what's going on, that sort of thing. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah.
I
There's
get
a lot
that.
of
I got a game night I go to. It's like that, where it's like, this is good. I'm playing games. I'm getting content. But it's like, yeah, I get what you're saying completely.
Yeah, there is that comfort level.
And it's like, even if I did come on a routine basis, I don't think it would get. Yeah, I get it.
yeah, just
Lightning in a bottle. Sometimes it's hard to catch.
lots. That's like the
But I think I still prefer to be exposed to different people. Just because
really, because maybe I'm weird when it comes to this, but I'm like, I'm good. I'm good not having to meet anybody else. I don't.
well, that's because you hate humanity. But
I've got friends.
Yeah, it's just like, and it
I'm
isn't that
done.
like, I'm sure people are awesome, and I'm sure you're fantastic, but I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need it. I just
hey, pops.
I got my
Grandpa.
own. I got enough going on, right? Like tomorrow. Like I said, my birthday, my son's birthday is tomorrow. He turns 11. No, in terms of, his birthday party's tomorrow. He turns 11 on Friday. So I got to go do that.
What's he doing for his party?
We're going to the local. There's like there's
Chuck E.
always
Cheese.
there's always the hotel that has the water park. So
Oh yeah.
him and his
Oh,
him and
yeah.
his three best chums in the world, and his lame-o dad, you have a hotel room, and we're going to
Great day
we,
for
we
the
got a
11-year-old.
we got a poolside room. So they'll be swimming. I'll be watching a lot of Thursday night football.
Broncos, baby, let's go. We gotta win, or else I'm just gonna cry.
And I'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, no, and so I'll be doing that, and then get some. They all agreed that they wanted Little Caesars pizza of all things.
Ooh, classy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
You got to be so happy when your kids pick the cheap shit. It's like,
Oh,
yeah.
I know. I said,
Little Caesars breadsticks are legit. I'll say
They're
that all
pretty
day
good.
long. They're legit. Yeah, and a ice cream cake from Cold Stone Creamery.
Oh,
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Cold Stone.
Yeah, so but yeah, and it's just
That's
and they
scary.
don't have school on Friday, so we'll be staying up super
Oh, that's
late.
cool.
I'll say this, and if I can't, I mean, we did the same exact thing last year, and he loved it. And I remember, like, we sat there,
Yeah, we
and
got 2 more years of that left.
those
dude.
kids, they swam and they swam and they swam and they swam, and I brought a oh, excuse me, I brought a surge protector, basically, so like all the kids could plug all of their electronics in and get them charged.
Yeah.
So and then when they shut down the pool, like, we headed back to the room, and they all, like, they got their iPads out and their Nintendo Switches and their phones, and they're all playing their Roblox games and playing, doing things, and they were just staying up. And I remember I was sitting there watching them, and like, and I gave them the beds, and I brought my I have a nice air mattress, and like, one of those big thick ones that are really nice, and I brought that. But I remember I was just sitting there, and I was like reading a book or something, and I was listening to these kids just talk about the craziest crap. It's just like, would you rather, be able to, like, punch somebody so hard that they, like, would go higher than the clouds, or like things like that. And then they were talking about cartoons and TV shows
That
and
you talked
anime.
about. Mhm.
And then like one by one, they all kind of got tired out, and they kind of like retreated into their own, like, they got over. I've been talking to my friends now for like hours. So they all kind of faded out onto their phones, watching their
Yeah.
videos or doing their own thing. And then every once in a while they would, like, poke one another and, like, say, hey, check this out, or anything like that. And and then, like, I was watching as they were, like, one by one, and I was just listening to their conversations. I wasn't interjecting, and I thought the conversation was just fantastic. And then one by one, they all just kind of slowly fell asleep. And it was a weird thing where it was like, I couldn't grasp it exactly. Like, I couldn't find a distinct memory of doing the exact same thing. Like, because like, memories are weird, right?
Yeah.
You remember certain moments just because they stick with you for whatever reason. But I could remember that feeling of, like, wanting to stay up, like, but you could feel yourself falling asleep, but you wanted to be able to stay up because you were having so much fun, and you knew that as soon as you fell asleep, then you're going to be asleep, and then you're going to get up the next morning, and then the party would be over, and there wouldn't be any more fun. And I remember that. And then the weird thing is that when I finally, like, fell asleep, because I wasn't going to fall asleep for any of them. I wanted to make sure they were all sleeping before I fell asleep, because I don't want some kid wandering around the hotel or something. And but I remember I fell asleep, and I had vivid dreams of being young again.
Yeah.
I was like, I was just like, it was weird. It was just like all my dreams were about being, like, in junior high and stuff like that. And just like, and it was like definitely a moment where I was like, oh yeah, I'm old.
You are
I
old.
just,
Yeah.
it's
You were born in another century.
well, yeah,
Yeah. I woke from a dream the other day, and I was like, oh man, Lance is old.
So did I. First thing I thought.
Chad Roberts woke from a dream, and
Thought he was really
and I was dead.
Don't do that.
So yeah, I mean, there's always that. That's a great.
Yeah.
There's that. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Thanks for
Thanks, Evan.
welcome.
thanks
You're
for
welcome.
having a dream about me being dead.
No, I
That's-
didn't really.
It's
Just
fantastic.
old. Just old.
Just old. Real old.
Just on your way to.
We are all on their way.
I did not have such a dream.
Nobody
I
gets
would-
out alive. Father
bad.
Time, the only unbeaten streak.
Yeah.
Kill
Jed'll
the
do shit.
champion.
Jed'll do
Champion
shit
of the
like that.
world.
She woke up one day, said, "I'm mad at you." I was like, "Why?" She's like, "You died in my dream." I'm like, "Okay, psycho. What do you want me to do about this?"
I've heard that before. That's something.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
Don't you die on me.
You did something in the dream. All right.
Yeah, I have, a couple of one of my patients is, folks is going or whatever, and it's like, man, I know that's coming for me,
Yeah.
but I'm not ready. I don't know if you could ever be ready.
I feel kind of lucky that mine went young and quick.
Yeah.
Like my mother, it was really only about a month with the cancer. It was real
Yeah.
bad. Jen's mom was real sudden. She bled out in her sleep, but her dad had cancer, and that was a
Wow.
couple months. So I think we're
God.
pretty lucky that we don't have to deal with that.
Jeez.
Jen's really messed up about her mother. She didn't get to say goodbye or nothing.
Yeah. Wow. I got really lucky with my grandma because she had like a stroke, and we all went to the hospital, and she was still totally lucid. We got to, she was joking about eating too much butter or whatever, and we all got, like she was just being funny, and we all got to say, hey, we love you, and we all got to be there. And then the next day, she was gone,
Yeah.
and it was like, I felt so lucky that I got to like go there,
Yeah. The death is a weird, especially like with the cancer patients I noticed. They're like, they got clarity like a day or two before they die. It's like
Yeah.
they're out of it, and then all of a sudden there's clarity, and
Yeah.
then they just go. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's actually a medical thing. There is.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
It's well documented. You can it's like there's a weird like surge that your body realizes, so it has this one last big giant shot at trying to like fix itself, and like you have a like it's not it doesn't happen to everybody, right?
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
like you'll have a rebound,
Hmm.
and it lasts for about 24 hours, and then
Wow.
it's
then-
like you've kind of used up what you have.
Wow.
So if you depending upon who you talk to, it's exactly what your grandmother experienced it, because depending upon if like whatever the the reason we exist is, it's design, it's something that actually happens because whatever the reason is that you get to settle your affairs, you get to you get your moment,
Yeah. To pass on.
Yeah,
the next.
just but or it's just you're trying vainly to stay alive just for that one more moment or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've said, like I remember my dad's wife's dad. So like, I don't know, whatever, like step grandfather kind of thing. I remember he was like super nice guy, super awesome guy. Talked to him about a lot of stuff, about all kinds of stuff. Farmer, super good. But when he got older and he got really, really sick, like he had a stroke and he had some other problems going on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I remember like and there's a line in Boston Legal that said where they're talking about euthanasia, and the lawyer says, he says, in this country we will scream from the top of mountains about lives that are taken too soon,
Mhm.
but we keep our mouths shut about lives that definitely go on for far too long. And they're talking, because he's talking about like being able to die with dignity instead of like just Alzheimer's patients shitting the bed and being
Right.
like tortured by very existence, and
Yeah.
we can't, it just so, and it's just, and so it's one of those things where he because of his strength and ability, he lived, and he lived through multiple strokes, and in moments of lucidity when he was able to, like, because he like trapped within his body, like the prison of his own body, he would express
it's like, I just don't want to be alive anymore.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking when I heard that, I was like, God, I couldn't even comprehend that. I was like, I can't even comprehend, like, you just don't want to exist anymore. But then it's like
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like, and that was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I've kind of like realized, okay, I get it, right? And I kind of get it. And I noticed that not my dad is still happy to be around. He's 79, and like we were talking the other day, and I noticed, and my dad like is a very weird Facebook user. Like he'll notice somebody mentioned him in a comment like days later, and then he'll like go back and he'll try to have conversations. It's like you missed the moment. But I mean, he'll those things where people like somebody in your Facebook feed comments on one of those like posts that has 7,000 comments, like it's like, if you could you can only get one, and it's just like the 6 superpowers or whatever like that, or he'll comment on those because somebody in his friends list will, and he'll comment on it or whatever. But I saw something and it made me kind of go, oh, because like, I mean, my dad's talking a little bit about getting older, and like he's just like, it's like, and like how is like one of his knees is like really bothering him, like it's just no, because he's 79, it's just like he's got a bunch of old parts. And and he said, I'll tell you this much, getting old sucks, and he's just like, but it was one of these things where it's like, what's your favorite God, I can't even talk, song lyric or whatever. And my dad posted on it, hold on to 16 as long as you can. And I was just kind of like, oh, I had a moment of like, that sucks, Pop. Just kind of like, because he's definitely like feeling like, how much time do I have left? And it just, and like, I mean, he still jokes and laughs and comes over and watches stupid wrestling with me and my son. And so, I mean, it's just like, he's still an awesome dude. But I mean, it's like, it stinks. I think I've told this story before too, but I mean, it's like, I fervently believe even people that you meet for like a week will teach you something, right? Like I even met somebody that I knew for literally 10 days who told me that. He's like, every single person you ever meet, it's like, if you let them into you, they'll teach you something, and it's just like, because I think I was complaining about whatever girlfriend had just broke up with me, and he was just like, he's like, be happy you had the time that you had, and realize that she taught you things about yourself that you didn't know, and then if you hadn't met her, you never would have learned those. He's like, you can't, you don't respect it now, but you will at some point. And like, and I remember him saying that to me, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. That guy got fired from the job that was because he punched out the manager because he was high, because he was high out of his gourd. But regardless, I mean,
also happens.
The guy did teach me something, right? So it's one of those things where I remember there was this girl that that I dated briefly, like when I about, this is like 15, 20 years ago, and she was just hanging out at my house, hanging out at my apartment, we were just talking and just hanging out, and she was sitting there and she's like, it really sucks. And she's like, I was like, what? And I was like, one day our parents aren't going to be around. And we don't talk about it. Nobody talks about it. Nobody thinks about it. We all just try to pretend it isn't gonna happen. But one day our parents won't be alive anymore. And that's just going to suck so bad that you aren't gonna be able to talk to your parents. And I was just kind of like, geez, thanks for bringing down the room.
The fuck over.
But I remember her saying that, and I always, I don't know where Jen Hazel is anymore, but I mean, it was like one of those things where I was like, yeah, that's a big pile of suck right there.
And the thing is that's another thing too. So like, here I'm ranting a little bit. Like I'll say that to some people and they'll be like, oh well, my parents suck. They did this, that, and the other thing. I was like, that's true. I mean, I mean, not all parents are great parents. Lots of parents suck. You know what I mean? Like, and it's super, super unfortunate that people have had parents that are horrible people and didn't know, should not have had children. And, and okay, fine. You can't, feel the same way that I'm saying about that, whatever. I get that. But that doesn't make it not true, right? I mean, it just like you always got to find that one person who's got to say, well, blah 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 blah. It's just like whatever. I'm sorry your situation's garbage, and I do feel bad for you, but that does not mean. Well, I mean, it's just like one of those things where people have to. It's the same fucking churlish oafs that want to like take a shit on religion all the time, and it's just like I would have so much more. I mean, I have so much more respect for, it's like this is my problem with this is that and I've said this before.
I will say this:
not believing in some sort of God is fine, it's cool. Believing in some sort of God is fine, it's cool. Not being respectful is uncool. And it's like all these people that want to say shit like, "Oh, how's your sky zombie living in the clouds?" Fuck you. How's your how's your belief that nothing actually fucking matters, and you because you're so edgy and cool, and like you just you look forward to rotting in the earth, just like. It's just like, well, that's not what I believe. Well, I know that isn't. And I don't believe in some sky zombie that lives in the clouds either. So don't try to dumb down what I believe to be like, because you think you're intellectually superior than me. And it's just like, I fucking hate those people. And just for the same part that I truly have giant problems with people that are like, oh, I must save these people and I have to like get them to believe in God so they can go to heaven. No, they can just decide what they want to believe. You just leave them alone. And that's what it is. The vast majority of people do leave it alone. They don't say shit about shit. They just go about their lives and do everything. But you always got on the internet, you always got to get those guys that are like, so they want to like, oh, look at me. I'm gonna make a joke about people, believing in this flying spaghetti monster. Aren't I just so edgy? I'm the only person ever to like, think of this. I'm so far above it. No, you're not cool. You're like, I remember the first kid who like thought he was gonna like, stick it to the squares by saying he didn't believe in God in junior high and thought he was all tough and cool and just like, whatever, grow up.
I was that kid.
Yeah.
The edgelord. I was the edgelord up until about 5-6 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what actually convinced me? Tim fucking Tebow. Not even gonna joke. I saw him speak, and I was just so amazingly engrossed about how I thought he was completely wrong about everything with his religion, but just the amazing things that he had done because of that belief. And I was like, all right, I'm done being a stupid edgelord. I get it.
Edgelord.
Tim Tebow.
What is he doing now? No, he's just going around doing
making money off his name. I mean,
making money off his name.
Those people.
I mean, who doesn't love Tim Tebow? The only reason you don't love Tim Tebow is because it's because of you. It's not because of him. I mean, he's too likable. He's too damn likable. Like, and if you hear him speak, it's just he's so bubbly and so positive, and just every time you just want to root for the guy.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like, I used to love people like that they would just lose their goddamn minds over the fact that like he would pray. It was just kind of like,
T-bowing, baby, turned into a whole thing. God, try to explain T-bowing to someone who wasn't around. It's such a weird bad.
Yeah.
I actually watched a short documentary about him, just about his football stuff. And they basically said that he probably could have been like
a very good wildcat like player, of somebody that would run the ball, somebody that could like line up as a tight end,
Right.
somebody that could occasionally throw it, do things like that, and be like what's his face is in New Orleans right now. I can't think of that guy's name.
But he went to New York. If he would have went to the Jaguars his whole career, I think it would have been a whole different trajectory. But he went.
But
to
no. But the thing is that they tried. They tried to convince him. They're like, "Hey, we want to like move you out. We want to do this, that, and the other thing." And he adamantly said, "No, I'm going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL."
New York never wanted to play him. Like they, yeah.
But he was not interested in actually doing those other things. He didn't want to.
Well, that's because he had success not doing it. I mean, that one season with the Broncos, say what you will. Like they went on a win streak. He took that team, re-fucking animated their dead corpse. Granted, it was mostly defensive kicking, and brought them to the playoffs. And they won a playoff game against a team that many people thought was going to win the damn Super Bowl potentially. I mean,
I remember when Demaryius Thomas, rest in peace, said he is not a good quarterback.
Hey, he made it work. That wins and losses, that's all that matters.
The only stat that matters. The W.
That was the most stressful season I've ever had in my life as a Broncos fan. As someone who invests completely emotionally into it, every single week was just so goddamn draining. Like those games felt like they lasted 8 hours of just, oh. And this season's not going to be any better, man. This season's rough. We lost our running back. The guy we're paying $250 million to over the next 5 years looks like a damn scrub. I mean, I want to root for Russell Wilson, but God, why did we pay him 5 years? Like, why couldn't we see like a couple games first? Like, if he's no good, we're terrible for the next decade. Like, no exaggeration. We're not doing anything for the next decade if he. Oh my gosh. Yeah, sports fun.
Sports fun.
Sports ball.
Sports ball.
That.
Well, would you rather be like
is
the old
offensive to
days
call
where you
things
go in the
sports ball.
gladiator pit?
It's been a long time since I watched much sports. I actually really enjoy sports. I just haven't watched in a long time.
I will say this is it football is like the bane. Like I've seen the Minnesota Twins win a World Series. I was present in the Metrodome
Yeah.
in 1991. I don't.
Is that Puckett?
That was Jack Morris pitching what a lot of people consider to be with the exception of Don Larson's perfect game, the greatest pitching performance there. 10 innings of shutout ball against the Atlanta Braves. Though I will, as Don Larson, who pitched a perfect game in the World Series, to pitch a perfect game, and I remember I saw an interview with just what a time to pitch a perfect game, right?
Yeah.
The World Series game, and somebody said in the interview, do you ever get tired of people asking you about the perfect game you threw in the World Series? He's like, no. Would you get tired of talking about it? I love talking about it. Let's talk about the fact that I threw a perfect game in a World Series. It reminds me of what was it? It was God. I forget what it was. It was some heavyweight boxer that held the title for I think it was Joe Frazier. It was Joe Frazier. Somebody was in an interview and said, Joe Frazier, he's like, after all is said and done, what would you most, because they were talking about his charity work and also all these things, what would you most like, what would be your legacy? What do you want to be remembered for the most? And he said, remember for the most? He's like, yeah. As the longest living human being of all time.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary. Wasn't it him and Ali? Wasn't that the Thriller in Manila?
I forget who that fight
I think it
with.
was Ali and Frazier, but
It
that almost
sounds right.
that almost killed both of them. Like
Yeah.
one of them couldn't walk for like a week.
Oh wow.
They pushed Ali into a fight like 3 or 4 months later, and they said that was like the start of the downfall.
I
Yeah,
just-
but it's like that fight almost killed both of them.
I remember the Simpsons episode with Joe Frazier on there when he's like, and Homer was complaining about the fact that he lost his couch or something like that, and it's just like, and then Joe Frazier was sitting there and he's talking to him in Moe's, and he says, he's like, Homer, I know what you. He's like, I'm doing good spoken Joe Frazier voice. Homer, I know, like, I know what it is to. I mean, you lost your couch. I know what it is to lose things. Yeah, it's like I once was the heavyweight champion of the world and I lost that. And Homer goes, well, there's like 4 of those. There's only one couch. and that's when, and it's just like, and then they're at most ever, and then he's like, I understand, Homer, I understand. And, but maybe someday you'll find another couch you can love just as much as this one. And then Barney, the drunk, hey, Frazier, shut up. He's like, because if you can find the clip online, he's like, it's like, Barney, you've been riding my back all night. You want to take this outside? He's like, just straightens his tie. Let's do it. And you see, like, when they go through the swinging door, all you hear is like massive amounts of violence and blood hitting the door before it even closes. And before it even closes, Joe Frazier comes back into the bar. There's like blood and teeth on the door. Back when Simpsons was funny.
Is it still
30
going?
years ago. I can't believe that it's still running.
Is it? Wow.
Yes.
Well, they tracked down a episode, and this is kind of grim and horrible, but they tracked down an episode where somebody said something like, who's gonna die first, the Queen or the Simpsons?
Oh.
Just like, ugh.
To be fair, the Queen had a 50-year head start on the Simpsons. Yeah.
She did.
For the they've been doing the NFL in London for what, 18 years, whatever, and for the Vikings game in London on Sunday,
Oh right.
like getting up at 8:30 in the morning to watch football.
Yeah.
For the first time in 18 years, they sang "God Save the King" instead of "God Save the Queen" before the beginning of the game.
Oh, I meant to ask Matt that. The Queen's on their money, right? On the Canadian money?
But now they're
They're gonna have-
scratching it off with a Sharpie.
Yeah. No, I know England's gonna change it over to the King, but I was wondering if Canada was gonna do the same thing or not. I forgot to ask him when he was here though. Or if he knew.
He'll never come back. So
He'll never come back. Yeah, but I'm a stoner. You gotta think of these things. Do it while you think of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, as long as there's no negative effects.
No, there's not. The negative, the positive outweigh the negative, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
I could have a short-term memory loss on this, or just really long-term memory on narcotics. Your choice. Well, my choice. Sorry.
See, Kabuki Kid even posted the link. Here, you can click it, and if you look at the comments.
The link to what?
Simpsons part?
Yeah.
Ooh.
They even mentioned pickled eggs.
That's just
One of these days, I'm gonna have
disgusting.
to try your pickled goodies, Lance.
I always see those pictures. They look so good.
Mhm. Oh, you don't have a jar sitting right there. Oh my gosh, she's got a jar sitting right there.
I'm not a big egg person.
Hey, Frazier, shut up.
Nah. Me and Joe were talking about that. Like, you know how I'm sure you got that from your mom or your somebody in your family, right? The recipe or the idea of it.
It was just kind of like I've told the story a few times. It was there was a place called Lowerman's Bar
and they had basically like take this and make it like just this giant vat. And and like you could get 2 pickled eggs on a basket of pretzels for $3. And you go in there on Wednesday and schooner night on Wednesdays, and you bring in you bring a schooner, and they'd fill it for $1, and you get a schooner of Amberbach, and I would get 2 pickled eggs and a hot beef sandwich. And it was like, and
Sounds great.
it was a night of that was we played on the Lowerman softball team. We played on Wednesday nights, and we just get absolutely trashed.
No.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it was the first time I ever had a bar that was within walking distance of my apartment. So
That's not a good mix.
I would get done playing softball. I'd drive there. I would park my old Chevy Corsica outside, and then I'd walk. I drink, and then if nobody was gonna be ride home, I would walk. It was like 4 blocks away. I'd walk back to my apartment, and in the morning I'd get up a little earlier and I'd walk to my car and drive it. But anyway, the Lowerman's building was next to another building that the guy had a dance club / bar that he was more like in the red up to his gills, and he literally tried to burn it down for the insurance money, and it ended up he ended up nearly, because he was located in an area like the upper floors of his building were an apartment. He nearly killed everybody who lived above him. And he succeeded in burning half of his bar down and all of Lowerman's. But a friend of mine was dating the girl that was the daughter of the guy who owned the place, and so I met her, and I was like, I gotta know how you make your pickled eggs. And so she kind of just told me how they did it, and then I've just monkeyed with the recipe ever since, and just kind of gotten to like where I want. If you're wondering, Evan, Kevin Burkhartsmeyer is driving his game toppers down to BGG Con, and he lives like 45 minutes away from me, so I'm making him a batch because he loves them, and then I'm making myself a batch, and he's going to bring a batch down, and so I'll have pickled eggs. BGG
Oh
Con.
yeah.
He's drive. How long is it going to take him to drive?
Well, how else is he going to get the game toppers there, man?
Yeah, it's true. I'm just curious. How long is it? What, a day?
Yeah, I've driven to Texas before. It's like a 20-hour drive.
20.
If you can power through it if you got another person driving.
Yeah,
I
enough
did.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I did it myself to BGG Con.
That
It was
looks delicious.
24 from Delaware to Dallas. And I did that straight, but in that case, I spent a lot of time in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, they're so good.
That looks delish.
It's disgusting.
You haven't had one, man.
I'm not an egg person. Once in a while, like a Western omelet or something, but I'm not an egg person.
Everybody in my gaming group loves them. My D&D group, except for one guy. He just can't stand them. He's like, oh my god, those things are disgusting. And usually, like, somebody brings a big bag of pretzels, like, you know, you're already like, usually me and like at least 2 of the other guys, like, you get a big bowl of pretzels, and then you put like 2 or 3 eggs on top of the pretzels, so like the brine kind of seeps into the pretzels too, so the pretzels taste good as well.
Sounds good.
Throw some, because there's onions and a bunch of peppers in there, so you throw some peppers on top of the pretzels as well, so you get that kind of, I don't know, it's a weird thing. It shouldn't be as good as it is, and you know, and it's like, if you're on a diet, you know, eggs have like each one of those eggs has like 75 calories, you know, so it's just kind of like, you know, no fat. No, plenty of fat, no carbs, 0 carbs.
No carbs.
It's all protein and some
Acid. Salt.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of that. All the sodium probably isn't good for you, but
Oh
what are you
yeah,
gonna do?
sounds good.
Quit your crying.
Salt's
Yeah.
delicious. Salt is delicious.
So
It is, and it's good for you.
sometimes
Or maybe it isn't. I
in
don't know.
moderation.
Yeah, I mean, it
Everything's in
depends, yeah.
moderation.
I mean,
Sugar,
you
salt,
need some
yeah.
salt. So
Yeah. Especially
yeah,
if
I
you
mean-
sweat like I do.
You know, for the iodine or what have you.
Really? I don't use iodine salt much.
Well, yeah. Now, did you see? I read an article about that. Now it's just like because we all get the necessary iodine through iodized salt, like everything.
Yeah.
And now the big kick is, oh, it's sea salt, which has no iodine in it. So there's like people
Plenty
are
of
having
plastic
like
though.
what?
Plenty of plastic.
Hmm.
Yeah, I read that, but I'm sure you picked that up somewhere nowadays. I mean,
Like what, through osmosis?
iodine's got to be in something like I don't beef maybe. It's got to be in something, other than table salt. I mean, I understand why the government did it back in the day, just a deficiency.
are you
But
talking about iodine?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, if you don't want to eat a bunch of seaweed, better have some iodized salt.
is that what it was? Seaweed. Yeah, I knew something had high
Seaweed's a good
iodine.
source of iodine. Yeah, there's a few others.
And I'm sure they use that in fillers and most of the foods we eat.
I mean, it's just one of those
somewhere.
things where, like, if you don't live on the coast, it's a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
You need iodine.
Well, according to who?
According to
The
medical
government.
nutrition.
Somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like big iodine talking.
Big iodine.
I see Evan's mouth move, but all I hear is big iodine.
Big
Yeah.
iodine.
I'm the puppet. Oh man, I wish I was a big iodine puppet. I could use the cash.
It's all them umbrella corporations.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
not
almost
umbrella.
that's almost a guaranteed laugh though, and you just call anything like, oh yeah, big pneumonia over here trying to tell us that it isn't COVID. Yeah,
Right.
they want all the credit for killing those people.
Yeah, who's
That's
they?
a guaranteed
Lance?
laugh.
Who's they?
Yeah, they,
Uh-huh,
they,
Uh-huh.
the ones in power, the masters.
The masters who want you to eat the salt.
Yeah. Just
Iodized
big
salt.
iodine.
Big
here.
iodine.
It is big iodine.
You
Just
never know.
ridiculous.
Look at almonds.
I
We
love
all laughed at almonds at one point. Big almond.
I didn't
Did
laugh
we?
at almonds. Who's laughing
What
at
happened
almonds?
with almonds? What happened with big almonds?
That's major. That's $1 billion industry now.
No, I mean, that's probably true.
It is. Think of all the nut or lactose-free milks and all that. The nut milks and
Oh yeah, almond milk's big.
flowers. And,
Flowers.
flowers.
Tons of us.
Goddamn flowers.
Flowers are the first. Big
What a
flowers.
bunch of garbage that is.
Yeah.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Big flowers.
Big flower.
Big flower.
Big flower.
Trying to tell us what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The big flower industry. Best.
Sons of
Hey, people are so dumb.
bitches. That
It's,
ain't right.
what is
Call
it?
people dumb. They just don't know better.
The
Big foot industry.
It's another one.
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot,
Big foot.
big Bigfoot over here, big Sasquatch, trying to tell us what you can and can't do.
Exactly.
You never hear about the pygmy Bigfoots.
Right.
It's all
What
about,
about the
the
little
big
ones?
ones. Yeah.
All right, now we're just being ridiculous. All right, it's late. I should go to bed. There's
All right.
things I need to do.
All right.
Everybody needs to get some rest.
Fair enough.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Blah 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 blah. We'll catch everybody next week, I suppose. Adios.